414, what it do, what it do, what it do. Outlaw Radio on a Monday evening, Outlaw Radio Live. Welcome to the show. I'm happy to be back. I was off last Wednesday. We were off just because, sometimes you got to just step back, take a look at things. But we're on tonight, so it is what it is. It's all good. Welcome to the show. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is in the building. My name is Kevin Barnes. I'm the host of Outlaw Radio. And I always say that this is a foundational Black American platform in which it's a safe space for Black men to come and speak. And it's a safe space for Black women to come and speak. And it's a safe space for anyone to come and speak as long as they respect the platform, right? It ain't about what you do, but about how you do it. So how y'all doing, man? It's been a long, hot summer so far. It's not even long yet, but it's been hot. Hot weekend, heat everywhere. All around the country, places where it's not supposed to be cold, it's been cold. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you've managed to find some relief from the sun and not be forced to. Because for those of brothers and sisters who work outside, it's a task, right? I'm like, ooh, thank God I don't got to do that. So I hope everybody's staying safe. There's a lot to talk about tonight on Outlaw Radio. Got a phone number associated with the show, 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. We also have a chat room that pops, and you can jump in there and keep your anonymity if you don't want to be heard. But if you hear something on the show and you say, man, I had something to say about that. Because I have friends who listen to the show and they hear something that they had an opinion about, and then they tell me about it later. And I'm like, well, why you didn't say something during the show? So call in, man. Call in. It's Outlaw Radio Live. We do kind of like a viewers or listeners' choice tonight. Whatever it is that you all would like to talk about. I usually open that up for Mondays because we're just catching up. And like I said, last week I wasn't on Wednesday. I may not be on this Wednesday because the holidays is coming up. We'll see. Jeff Crape, he said, what up, fam? How you doing, Jeff? What's good with you, man, down in Houston? It's hot up here, so I know it's hot in Houston. Absolutely know it's hot in Houston, right? But y'all used to that, and I guess to some degree we are too, because it does get hot up here. It's funny when people think about Milwaukee, they talk about it like it's always cold. We do have a short summer here. So people like, Milwaukee is 90 degrees. What? It happens. Ewok up in Arizona. How you doing, my brother? He said, man, it's 113 degrees in this bitch. Wow. 113 degrees in Arizona. Jeff said, you never get used to it, fam. Okay, see, I'm thinking people down there is used to it. Because up here, we ain't. This heat is crazy, man. But I don't want nobody to complain because in 2 months, it'll be 35 degrees. Well, 2 months, hold on, July, August. Well, no, 3 months. Late September, early October, it starts to get a little chilly. And then everybody's like, oh, man, it's too cold up here. That's why I'm leaving Milwaukee. I never did like the cold. So, people always going to complain, man. But however it do, man, however it be, man, I hope y'all all right. There's a lot going on. We know in the city of Milwaukee right now, we're dealing with some crazy, crazy crime. I would even go as far to say that the city has become hyper violent. Milwaukee has always been a place where violence would happen, right? This is not new. But the way it's going now is crazy. And maybe I'm getting older. Y'all, look, I'm unk now. I'm I'm out the streets. I'm out the loop. I don't know what the deal is. We were talking about what's going on over there on Hampton for a minute because there's this rash of shootings. And then we see the young brother, Kendall Corder, the Milwaukee Police Department officer who lost his life. And this is a Black police officer. And I know that there's some people out there, especially when we start to speak in a revolutionary way, there's this sentiment that, no, we don't care because he was a cop and yeah, he got killed. That's not my sentiment. As a matter of fact, I send prayers and condolences to his family. I feel like this is unnecessary. This is silly. It's out of control. It's savage. It is dysfunctional. But this group of people in my city, our population on the near north side, the foundational Black American population, we're sick right now. We're sick. I don't know what it is. We tried to prescribe it. You know, I say I believe poverty has a lot to do with it. Um, I believe being underserved has a lot to do with it. I believe there's some mental health issues involved here. What I don't see though is any kind of reasonable, sustainable solutions in the near future. I just don't see it. I haven't heard anyone. I mean, we've listened. There's money being spent. There's money being thrown around. There are grants being written as we speak. But what we find out is that usually a lot of times when it comes to this kind of thing, that money goes in a circle and ends up back in the same hands of the people who have money, and the people don't are not recipients of it. And so these programs, in essence, are ineffective. Once again, I hear we got to get into violence prevention. We have to try to figure out a way to get the guns. There's too many guns out here. Well, because this has become fertile ground for dysfunction. Like poor people can find a hole to crawl in and then live in survival mode in our city. It's a fertile ground for dysfunction. Now, once again, when we talk about the police department, Chief Norman, this is crazy too. Our police officer was just reappointed to 4 more years. So he's going to be back. It's funny that he was just trying to move to Austin, Texas months ago. But also at the same time, they arrested a 67-year-old man trying to break in the police chief's house. They say they found guns nearby. And then there's just the usual murder in the streets, people getting shot, bodies being found. Yeah, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time in Milwaukee, like for real. And I survived the crack epidemic, so I've seen some scandalous shit happen in the city. But at this point, it just seems like the people are like I said, they're sick. It's a deeply rooted infection. What solutions can you possibly bring to these impoverished communities unless it's a solution for poverty? You can talk all you want. You can build a community center, say, come up here and I'll make it easier for you. But if you have no food, you don't have a place to. I notice in my neighborhood, there's beggars now. Well, there's always been beggars, y'all. We know that. But there's beggars like you, every store, liquor store, gas station. And it's like they in a union or something because they all seem to be organized or something like they rotate. I'm like, this is crazy. People on safety islands. There's always been beggars, but Milwaukee, we wasn't like that back in the days. I don't remember that. DeVille Willis, you out in Vegas, so I know it's hot out there. Shout out to you. Q Love in the building, man. What's going on with you, Q? How you doing tonight, man? Welcome to the show. Y'all tell a friend and tell a friend. Please share the show. It's Outlaw Radio Live. Yeah, man. So this police officer, and it was erroneously reported that he had passed actually last week when he was first shot. Some people said he had passed that night, but then we found out he was in the hospital. He was fighting for his life, and I guess he expired. And it's tragic, man. I'm not going to sit up here and be irresponsible. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, yeah, we finally fighting back on one time. Yeah. All that does is ensure that our communities will soon be over-policed. That means the average brother or sister who's not doing anything wrong will suffer the consequences of their community being occupied. And can we really say that we don't deserve it as a community? We don't collectively deserve to be mistreated by law enforcement officers. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is where the trouble is, that's where you send your artillery and your power. Now, we know police here are so, like, they're caught up, man. This is why police are scared. They're terrified. You know, since 2018 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we've lost 6 police officers died in the line of duty. 6. That's a lot, you know. Now people say, but Kev, how many brothers and sisters done been murdered? Or in that time, how many brothers and sisters were murdered unjustifiably by the police? I'm not going along that logic. I'm really not. Because this brother is not the brother that killed him or her or that brother and sister. So he did not deserve this. And that young man who did this, he represents a certain kind of lawlessness that really we don't need in our community. Because if he'll bust on a cop, he'll bust on you. He'll shoot up your house. I mean, the report that they initially got was that he was, and Lockhart Media put the footage out. He was actually outside shooting. This is what we got in our neighborhoods. These are young people, right? But it's not just Milwaukee and West Dallas. West Dallas police get to the scene where a 71-year-old man has killed a 72-year-old man, and the police killed the 71-year-old. That's West Dallas. So they can try to say, well, it's just a black community. No. I might jump out here and say this is Trump's America, right? That we dealing with right now. I'm gonna blame Trump for it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna blame Trump. Holla at your boy, man. Jump on the line 262-202-5131. Get in the chat room. I feel bad about this. And this was a young brother, man. And so, like we always say, be the change you want to see, right? So if we're gonna say, well, we need police, we need law enforcement reform, we need more brothers and sisters from the community to come back and police the community. And I don't know this brother. I don't know where he was from, but I know he was a young black man. He wasn't robbing, he wasn't stealing, he wasn't shooting, he wasn't looting. I haven't heard anyone say he was a foul, dirty cop. The young man who's idealistic, who wanted to try and make a difference somehow. He didn't deserve this. There's no amount of money that's like, oh yeah, I'm out here getting my money. And I don't even think this is what this dude was on. For me, this looks like some serious mental health issues mixed with a whole lot of poverty. I'm gonna keep on saying poverty, y'all. I'm gonna keep on saying it. Because when people reach their wits end and they feel like I have no other choice, I'm in survival mode. This is what you get. You get desperate, ruthless. Drive through the community on the near north side. Drive through the community and tell me you don't sense this. It's in the air. Look at the people. I've driven through, some neighborhoods and some communities, and I just take a look around while I'm driving, observing, people watching, if you will, and I see it on their faces. These people look like they're impoverished. Now, does it have to be like that? No. Some of this is some individuals' decisions made by individuals who make their own individual decisions, right? But it is what it is, and it's sad. And, shout out to Dion, man. Dion hit me up. We got to talking about the violence in the community. We got to talking about the young brother losing his life. And he asked me, he said, Kev, what you think the solution is? And I said, gentrification. And he said, what? Are you serious? At this point, that might be the best thing going, because I'm going to tell you why. Because us brothers and sisters who out here fighting, trying to do something with integrity and trying to be a part of the solution, usually we'll be able to stay because we're dedicated. We'll go to work. We'll work hard. We'll do what we got to do. But a lot of people who aren't able to afford to stay here are the ones who are causing problems. So maybe they do need to be removed. Tell me about, listen, I'm ready for anything. If you agree, if you don't, I really don't give a shit. We're going to have to talk like drastic measures. If gentrification is going to clean this city up where you can feel safe driving down the street or going to somewhere to get you something to eat, then it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I feel like I think I know where y'all at right now, but in a sense, I kind of agree. Because it's because it'll weed the bullshit out, right? A lot of people say, well, I don't know if a lot of people say it, but I done heard a lot of people say, like, just in talk, and they say, broke people rob, steal, and kill.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now it's a lot to that. Broke people rob, steal, and kill. That's usually why they robbing and stealing and killing. Now, if you get rid of the people that's doing that, you know what I'm saying? But then that's kind of fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to say at the same time.
Very callous. Very bad.
You know what I'm saying?
Very hard. Yeah. But not all broke people.
But like I say, but on the flip side, you're talking about getting rid of the people that's doing it to the community.
Yeah. On the flip side, not all broke people are dysfunctional. There's some broke people who are trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
So people getting their shit together and they ain't finna be broke people.
I would say desperate people rob, steal, and kill.
Yeah.
Because but generational poverty and just broke
Well,
all you've ever known is poverty, it's kind of hard to think outside the box.
right.
You know what I mean? That's just survival. What we call crazy or dysfunction, they say that's Tuesday. What you talking
Right.
about? You
Right.
don't understand, Kev. And they right. Kev don't understand, y'all. Listen, I say it out loud. Kev don't understand. Kev don't get it. I don't get it. The wanton disrespect and disregard for our lives. Our lives. It'd be different if this was a rob from the rich and give to the poor scenario. This is rob the poor, and then spend some money to try to look like the rich.
Right.
And this is coming from us. Mama Jenkins is in the chat room. She said, "Good evening, my outlaw family. Leadership, all cops are not bad. And even I give my sincere condolences to the officers' families. Kev, yes, we are in a state of confusion. Once again, where's the solution to these issues? What about community policing and jobs?" Yeah, that's not something, Mama Jenkins. Shout out to you. Welcome to the show. Like I said, it was very hot this weekend. I hope everybody was safe. I hope everybody, was able to get to a place where, you enjoy the heat from far away, right? Like I can look out the window and say, hey, ooh, it's pretty outside, and then get back under the AC. But no, you're right. And we keep saying leadership. We have to be real specific when we say leadership, because none of them by themselves can do anything. I guess my issue with our leadership is that when I see them just decide to reappoint the police chief for another 4 years when he was just trying to get out of Milwaukee, right? And it doesn't seem that he has an answer. And it was funny because when the Fire and Police Commission spoke, who got 10% of that? They got 10% of that $200 million at 90%. They got 10% of it. 90% went back to the city, city workers and their pension plans. But they were saying, well, no, Milwaukee is actually trending in the right direction right now. Crime, you can't rest on that no more. You could do that in February. Remember when he said the streets was 7% safer?
Hey, man, we blame stuff on the leader time, but like the leadership couldn't have stopped that incident.
They couldn't have.
What I'm saying? You know what? I don't like that they call it an ambush though, because I just don't feel like it was an ambush. I feel like somebody called the police about somebody with a gun, and when the police got there, he shot at him.
They was walking down the alley.
You know what I mean? I don't feel like that was an ambush though.
What I don't understand, Kamar.
And that probably ain't got nothing to do with none of it.
It's all relevant. It's all relevant.
I'm just using the terminology while looking at the terminology that they use.
Well, this is my question, and I don't want to be an asshole because I don't want to diminish or downplay the tragedy of this officer. But I want to say this: you and me and anybody out there listening who knows our turf know that if we get a call to go to some shooting on 25th and Garfield, if we walk down the alley, we got our flashlights on and our pistols out. I'm not, once again, I don't want to say that because I don't want people to think I'm kind of, trying to play the officers. I just don't understand how they weren't locked and loaded. Like, and maybe he did creep from the side or something. I'm just saying, man, I wasn't there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But in that area, here's a tip. Here's a tip for not just police officers, for anybody who goes on 25th and Garfield because they got a call for some drama. Put your vest on, keep your pistol out, and have you a light. That's been true since the 80s. So I don't know. And once again, I don't want to say this because he didn't deserve it. Whether he had a gun in his hand or not, he didn't deserve it.
Well, nobody does. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about policing our own. You know what I mean? He is one of our own that was in that neighborhood policing us.
He was a young black man.
You know what I mean? So that's bad too. You know what I mean? I get it. It's bad for all of us. I wish they would put the emphasis on when unarmed people get shot like they do when police get shot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think that would help. That would help stop a lot of this shit too. At least of the animosity with the community police. You know what I'm saying? Because and yeah, that shit hard, man. It's hard to talk about it and not sound like I'm coming from the wrong way.
Right, because it's such a complicated issue. It's not just one. It's way deeper than just surface deep. It's even we say, well, what can the leaders do? Well, are leaders really actively putting in place a plan or coming up with some kind of solution to combat poverty or this many dysfunctional people being boxed into a small space? I don't know that they're doing it.
We can't expect the community to stop the violence, but I mean, the leaders. We can't expect the leaders to stop the violence, but I feel like we should be leaning on the leaders to do something that's going to help the root cause.
We just want a plan.
You know, not even that, but just like, let's start doing something for poor people. Let's figure out some stuff so they could, you know what I mean? Figure out a way for them to fund, get some to work or something. But and that's hard because a lot of them motherfuckers don't want to work either.
Now there you go. There we go. Now it's because it comes out.
You know what I mean? But this is the difficulty in it all. You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk about all the good shit that they could do for people with no money, and then in a lot of cases they are doing things for people
that ain't taking advantage of.
But the people that ain't got no money don't want to take advantage of the shit that they got.
Yeah.
Everybody can go get a skilled trade.
Mama Jenkins says, I was just in Mississippi and they sending those black men to Parchman Farm, a real prison. Yeah, that's that down south justice. Dre Day, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Y'all please share the show. Let them know Outlaw Radio Live is on. Dre Day says, if we can gentrify without vilifying the remaining contributors, I'm down. But we can't even ride through Glendale, so I can't see gentrification working out for our FBA good. You know what? To that I say this, my brother. I feel like if we get down to the from the rooter to the tutor, right? Those of us who want to be here, who want to see our community grow, who want to see our community prosper, we form a collective. And it is similar to Marcus Garvey saying, hey, some people won't be able to get on the steamships and go to Africa because they wasn't no good here, so they won't be any good in Africa. Sometimes you have to let the shit fall where it may. I feel like if we had a strong enough consortium of productive, positive, strong black people here, we can get some from leadership because we can put more pressure on them collectively as one and make them say, okay, we're going to do what's right. It may be wrong. See, that's complicated too, because we don't even know, like you said, we ain't together enough. He said we can't even drive through Glendale. I don't have a problem driving through Glendale. You know why? Because when I'm driving through Glendale, I act like I'm driving through Glendale. I know not to play with. I don't give you a reason. That won't stop them from harassing me. But do all you can to prevent from being fucked with is my problem. So a lot of us, man, fuck them. I don't care about, man, you know how many times I've been riding up Port Washington, Kamara, and seeing us on some wild, lascivious wild. And like, why? They know they finna go to jail out here. Like our young people keep going to Mayfair fighting. Why y'all keep doing that? And then we got to say, they prejudice. They racist at Mayfair. But are they?
Gonna do? They're going to stop letting people under 18 go anywhere without an adult.
Yeah, that's what they do at Mayfair.
Watch, they're going to stop letting them go anywhere. Everybody going to start making that a rule.
Ewok says, some YNs have $2,000 in their pocket and they still have the take mentality. It's not enough when you trying to live a lifestyle that you can't really, $2,000 ain't really no lot of money. I mean, it's cool. I wouldn't turn down 2G. But that could be gone.
That'll be gone tonight the way they kick it.
Right. You buy one watch, 2 pair of pants, and some shoes. You broke again. You got to go rob somebody else. Let me see. Mama Jenkins said, I know they say they was walking down the alley without their guns out. I seen that, and I didn't want to, at the time, you know, it's a time and a place for everything. I didn't want to be the first one to say, why they had their guns out? Because guess what? If they was walking down that alley and this dude who was shooting was running through a yard, and ran up on him and they just shot him in the dark, the community would be pissed right now. They'll be mad than a motherfucker. Like, I ain't had to kill him. They supposed to be trained. So, hey, if you gonna be mad at me, be mad at me. I don't care. We gonna tell the truth tonight. But Mama Jenkins said, I don't drive through there without my gun on my seat because a motherfucker will run up on you anywhere, Kevin Kamar. They got all these organizations doing what? Where's the plans that they have? Are they getting these troublemakers trained or giving them help? It's you can't teach empty seats. And that's why I always touch back on the 50% truancy rate. MPS just got, once again, got approved, $1.5 billion budget. We have a school system with a $1.5 billion budget with a 50% truancy rate. How you think this is going to work out? Why you think money get misplaced? Why you think shit gets spent? They hire people to do jobs and they don't have the kids to support them. People still got to get paid. It's wasted money. What up, Mikey? Real time Mikey Davis. He said, what up, family? What it do, man? How you doing, man? What's going on with you, bro? I see you back out on that fishing bank, too. I'm going to try to get me a couple trips in before it get cool again. It's just been too hot, man. I'm too old, man. I can't be sitting out in that sun like that. I got me a big-ass hat. I'm going to have to put on some sunscreen. Ewok said, well, that's what's in their pockets. And they choose to buy stupid shit. They choose in poverty. Ooh, that's another one, Kamar. They are choosing poverty. At this point, with the point you just made about opportunities being available and people not taking advantage of them, at this point, people who choose to actively say, I'm not voting, they're going to do what they want to do anyways and sit out. Kids who choose not to go to school. And at this point, I don't think there's any children who don't know. Young people, they might not know what it's really like to be in them circumstances, but they know what it is. They watch Power. They watch they listen to the music. They hear all of the stuff. You seeing what's happening in the hood. To a certain degree, it does look like they're choosing it. It does. It would appear that way. You know what I'm saying?
They are.
So in that case, what do? Gentrify. I don't know. Can gentrification be? I'm gonna stop talking about it like it's such a dirty word, Kamar. I get the intention of it is to remove us from a community we've been in for the better part of 60, 70 years. But at the same time, what are we doing to show them that, no, we love our community and we want to keep it. We want to be here. We want in. What, don't we have to do something to earn that? You don't get to just stay on the top-notch land and don't have to pay nothing for it.
You get money. That's what you do.
Legally.
If you want to stay in your, you need to do something to figure out how to get some money. And legally. I ain't saying that in a way. I'm saying that in a positive way because that's really what you got to do. We should have been on that.
Somehow,
if more of a focus on getting some legal money, it'd be less crime because our attention would be on something else. Our focus would be some.
Chaos, confusion, and dysfunction has become.
That's how you fight gentrification. You money.
Chaos, confusion, and dysfunction have become a cultural norm for us. Like Kamar, just think about it like this. So we talk about the music. I don't want to get too far away from this, but we talk about what are the cultural trends. The whole, what they call it, whore. They don't call it whore music. What they call it, man? Prostitution, hip hop. What do they call it? They got a name for it. I can't remember what it is. Whole rap, I think, the whole house rap or something like that.
Right.
Then you got the pill popping culture. Then you got the dudes who rap about this shit, robbing people, shooting people, just wholesale riding. And so there's a cultural norm in our communities, and I think a lot of that's they feel like they got to live out these ghetto fantasies in order to be a man. So there's no real understanding of what masculinity even is right now.
The music glorifies culture, survival mentality.
Is it survival, or is it
the prostitute culture? Survival, mostly pretty much a survival, right? The robbing and stealing, the killing, survival mentality and shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting over on a brother. You know what I mean? That's all running off on a plug and shit. Survival mentality. This is a mentality what people do what the fuck they gotta do to live.
Okay, so I guess the part of that loses me is that this is not what you do to live. This is how you ensure your death. Like Rob running off on the plug.
Yeah, well, pretty much like you look, even in the community, that's what people doing. And that's what it's doing, is ensuring their death.
Are they, you think they're trying to survive?
They Yeah, people in the community are. That's why they doing the shit they doing, right? We was talking about they doing it to survive because they poor. People ain't having no money. Like they got to do what they got to do. If I got to cut so-and-so throat, if I got to my neck to get what I got to get, I'm going to do it. That's how the music is. Nigga, you going to do this for me. You going to do, bitch. You know what I mean? Man, that's it, man. That's just, it's the whole survival mentality, man. And it's glorified. So now are you just like these motherfuckers in the music? And it's worse.
Ewok says, don't give up on our prime areas that they want, but still spread the black people out. Niggas get sick of seeing the same people every day. I think we got a troll here. He looks like a white guy. Female Basketball Association. That's FBA, right? He says, wait. What's up, man? What you want to say? Hurry up before I block your ass. You got something to say? I'm not gonna deal with you. You can't get me upset. Like you can't come in here and say some racist shit and I'm gonna start ranting and raving. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to put whatever troll ass comment you want in here. Believe it or not, you're not the first white person that's tried to troll my show. I'm not really tripping on you. So I hope you have fun. But like I said though, I look at things more like to me there's a difference between survival and desperation. So and then I said desperation, but I don't know. Come on, like some of this shit that they're doing, it's not like I don't need to steal, carjack somebody to survive when I'm walking past 19 businesses that I could be going in putting in applications. Mm-hmm. So when you say survival, I'm thinking survival meaning I'll do what I got to do. Yep. So if I got to go sell hot dogs, I'll do it.
Our survival with a lot of the community. We have to remember that we don't think like most of the community. You know what I mean? So their survival is different. This is the way of life.
That's why I said it's a cultural norm.
Like these young, okay, we stole cars and shit, but it was also a thing that where we wanted to go buy our own car. We wanted to hustle up so we could buy our own shit. These little niggas don't even want a car. They just go steal one and drive.
That's why I said it's a cultural norm now. We used to call it.
It's a cultural norm for them.
We used to call it the culture of dysfunction because it became cool to be against, right? And so the anti-heroes were the ones that we liked because the system was always so crooked and rigged that we cheered for individuals who went against it and came out on top with a little something. But I think times have changed in terms of where they were then and where we are now, because I'm gonna have to agree with you and a lot of other people who say there is opportunity out here for you. You just got to put your nose down and grind. And don't get me wrong, you might not be the flashy man with the 26s and that might not happen at first. But long term, you will be shining, and the people who are out here now up on that part of the ladder will be below ground. They'll be drug addicts. They'll be dead. They'll be in jail. So, Vince, Tony, what to do, man? Y'all say what's up to our I think he's a troll, Female Basketball Association. He still ain't said it. I'm gonna get his ass out of here in a minute. Better say something, boy. Vince Tony said we made this a way of life, normalizing these dysfunctional behaviors. So it has become like, that's why I was going with some of the horror rap. I don't hear the young ladies who are rapping. I try not to come down on them, y'all, because I was listening to Get In Where You Fit In all weekend, so I was having a damn good time with some ratchet music. But I don't hear them talking about survival. I hear them kind of flossing it, Kamar. Yeah, I made this. I made your baby daddy pay my rent. Yeah, I got this. I got. It wasn't like they were saying, "Hey, it's hard on me. I'm trying to feed my kids." I felt like maybe it's the glorification of it, but when I hear them talk, they don't sound desperate. They sound ignorant.
Hey, that like survival to me. Like, I ain't got to do shit, but I'm gonna make your baby my rent because my rent need to be paid. That sound like survival. Instead of me getting on business, I'm gonna talk shit to somebody that they baby pay my rent paid. Just even just talking to people about I need the motherfucker to pay my bills. That's survival right already. They need their bills paid. They
It don't
trying to
sound like
survive.
it doesn't sound like survival to me. I just when I hear it, I don't feel like because it sounds like they saying it sounds like they don't even want no help. Like nigga, I don't want no job. I just go rob somebody. Well, I thought you said you're trying to survive. Like which one is it? And everybody got their own opinion on it. I think that's what prevents really us from coming to like a real answer and come up with solutions because people just don't agree. Like even when we talk about locking people up, there's somebody gonna say, "Nah, man, that ain't no solution. Don't lock our youngsters up." What you want me to do? We can't agree on that. So I don't know. I have no answers. I'm not even on here pretending like I'm the guru. I have no answers.
Hey,
I just gentrify.
I feel like if you in a space where you got to get people to pay your way, you in survival mode. You can't pay your own shit. You can't handle your own business. You in survival mode. You trying to survive out here.
He said this shit.
You just putting it in a glorified. You just putting it in a glorified.
If you able-bodied and you able to do something, but you choose to take from other people, I think you're just lazy. I don't know if you're trying to survive. I think you're just lazy.
That's a part of it too.
And you're ignorant.
Part of you a whole bunch of. I feel like you're a whole bunch of different. You're a whole bunch of things. So in survival mode is one.
Ewok said, if you really in survival mode, you ain't got time to be posting shit. I guess that's my point too, is that it's like it's glorified. All that other stuff don't mean. I'm just saying the way they present it. Because really, if you want me to help you, like, and this is just if you won't say you need some help, right? And I'm who you're gonna ask. If you say, Kev, man, I'm out here struggling, bro. I need some help. I say, all right, got you. But if you come up in some new shit like, yeah, I just stole this motherfucker. I'm out here getting niggas. Can you help me? I'm like, no, nigga, you don't need my help. You don't need my help. So that's just a presentation for me. I'm just like, and I'm as confused as anybody else because I can't understand why we got so many 14 and 15-year-olds. Have we taken count on how many teenagers? 14 to 17 dead, killing each other. Just damn. When I was 14, I was still reading. Well, no, I wasn't still reading comic books. I was finna lie. No, I wasn't reading comic books at 14. I had just stopped. Mama Jenkins. She said, Kev, gentrification is the only way out. Oh, somebody agreeing with me. She said, as of now, these idiots got to be met head on. Society has fucked these people. She says society has fucked these people up. There's no home training. There's no big mama, aunt, or your uncles. They all fucked up. They all fuck in the same bed, smoke weed, and drink together. A change is much needed, but the White House is fucked up. So what in the world do we expect? Damn. Yeah. Man, when you put the fact that the only reason that gentrification right now wouldn't probably be good for us at this point in time is because of the white nationalist president that we have. And all of this shit that's going on now just justifies him doing whatever the fuck he want to do to us. Like, do you understand that at this point, because of what's going on in this city, when we say police officers are getting shot and kids are getting killed and people are getting robbed and homes are being burned down, he could say, I'm sending National Guard in there. We could end up with martial law. Fucking around with this dude. So yeah, the White House is, yeah. But we can't agree on that either. Like, you still got a lot of people that say the mayor's doing a good job. What can he do? How can he be held responsible for this? I don't blame the mayor for these problems because Milwaukee was fucked up when he was elected. My only thing I have with him is, bro, can we just come up with some economic empowerment? Like, is there a way? And this is just for the people who want to take advantage of it. And I think that might even be a fair way to do it and say, hey, these are all the programs we got out here for y'all. We telling y'all right now. 8 months from now, if you ain't on something, you're going to be out of here. Those who want to stay are welcome to stay as long as you take advantage of the opportunities you have. Young people make mistakes. We get that. We all made mistakes when we was young. I know I did. And a lot of my homeboys did. And a lot of us paid the consequences for it, be it death or jail or whatever. We paid the consequences. We paid for whatever we did. But I just don't see us loking up saying, here, take the AR-15 and bust on the police. That wasn't even in our mentality. Like a gun was a serious thing. That was the crack epidemic. So people were getting murdered. We took note of that. Like, damn, people really getting killed. I just feel like right now it's not even. Somebody said on here that we was desensitized to it. I disagreed at the time. I think we are desensitized to it because we allow the mentality to exist. I'm just like, I just don't know, man. If y'all got solutions, please tell me. I just say I'm gonna always point to poverty because I feel like if you give those hardworking poor, because we got a lot of working poor in this city. That's why we can't really talk too shitty about the government. I mean, about the ghetto. Because what about all them people who living in them hoods, Kamar, who really trying to get it, who really getting up, going to work in the morning, who working 2 and 3 jobs, who doing whatever they got to do, trying to tell their kids, nah, you got to, and this community around them is just crazy. I would not want to raise my kids. And if we lived on 25th and Garfield, I'd be trying to get off, and shout out to you if you live on Garfield. I don't want y'all coming after me, but I'm just saying, if I lived on 25th and Garfield, looking around that community or any of these negative communities, my mission in life would be to get my kids out of there. I'd be like, I got to get my babies out of here, man. Because what chance do they have? If this is what they see on the norm, that shit outweighs what you telling them. So it's time for some change, man. So what would we call that? What we call that? Fair gentrification? Equal? We got to give it a new name. We got progressive gentrification. Maybe that's the name for it. Progressive gentrification, right? If you got like, it's sad, man. It's sad. I just shake my head. And I spend most of my time shitting on people who try to diss the city. Now I ain't got no comeback. I'm like, hey, man, people can't, man. I heard it's fucked up there. It's fun. It's Summerfest and shit. Like, it's bad, man. It's bad. Rest in peace to the brother, Kendall Quarter. God bless you, my brother. I'm not a pro-police guy, but I'm not an anti-police guy. I think we need policing, but I think they need to be trained correctly. But also, when you do a lot of crazy shit in your neighborhood, guess what's going to happen? The police going to come. When it's always going down, the police going to come. So why can't the young niggas understand, dude, you just can't live in a world and do what you want to do at all times. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to work. I don't want to take care of my kids. I just want to be out here just doing whatever I want to do. That's why I said it didn't look like survival. It just looked like there was a code of like, nah, man, we do what the fuck we want to do. Fuck that shit. Man, fuck that. Because you can go up to one of these brothers and say, man, I got a little gig for you, man. Come on up. $15 an hour, Oh, man, that ain't no motherfucking money, nigga. Fuck that shit. And he don't want no help from you. I don't say nothing to these youngsters, Kamar, unless they come to me and say, hey, man, other than that, I'm not offering up shit. You see, just overnight, somebody driving, hit a child, got out to check on the child. Child was in the middle of the street. Late at night, they beat him and robbed him. Okay? Like, come on, man. That's a setup. They'll do that to you now. They'll run into your car, and when you pull over, like, damn, man, you hit me, they'll shoot you or they'll rob you. What the fuck? That's crazy. But like my brother used to say, why don't you take your ass over in Wauwatosa? That's where all the money at. Why don't you go to Glendale and rob some people? Why are you robbing the dude that lived 2 houses from you? It's just the mentality we have of self-hate, I guess. No, this is Mama Jenkins. I'm sorry. She said, Kev, I remember when Sean Moore was in these terrible neighborhoods walking up and down the streets looking for trouble spots. It was called safe zones. It was. I remember when Sean and Ashanti Hamilton was involved with organizing the brothers over there on Atkinson. I do remember that. I don't know why the program didn't last. Would have to ask Sean. I think I asked him about it one time, and he told me it was just a bunch of different stuff, politics and stuff like that, and some mishaps, if you will. I'd let him talk about that. Ewok says rent getting higher, hospitals finna close, stamps getting cut, and y'all talking about the president. Just wait till Trump gets done. I hope that white troll on here knows his people finna be fucked too with their food stamp getting ass. Man. Yeah. I hope he know that too. White people already getting screwed too. Did you see this big, beautiful bill? How much money he's talking about cutting from Medicaid? You know how many old white people it is that depend on Medicaid and Medicare? Oh, they fucked too. But they can't see it. I don't know why. Trump got this. Come on, he got this weird thing. I don't know if he's a hypnotist or if he's a vampire. He got this weird ability to glamour people. Well, they will not see the shit he's doing. They will make up every excuse in the world. No, it ain't no but. But they will say, no. What? He the best president we ever had. How? How's he the best president we ever had? First of all, when have we had a good president? I mean, that was good for us. Barack made us feel good. But what else? Hell, Clinton was cool. I used to call him Dollar Bill because he came up with them SEOG grants, so my ass could get an education. But was he really cool like that? Like, no. I mean, we haven't had anyone in Washington who gives a shit about us like that. But we don't got nobody in Milwaukee. The mayor, listen, nice guy, real nice guy, seems like to me. But a plan, brother. Please don't have that press conference no more with them same people standing behind you, talking about we're gonna do this initiative anti-violence, or we're gonna. And then at the end, they always finish up by saying, "But the community, y'all got to do y'all part." They just shot y'all. What you think we gonna do? Y'all supposed to be paid to deal with this. Matter of fact, we're paying you. So I got to pay you and do your job? Come on, man. I don't know. I don't have solutions. That's why I'm talking shit. People say it's just another podcast. That's exactly what it is. Just another podcast where we talking about what's going on, and I don't have the power to turn not one key. So I'm just observing. That's why I said maybe gentrification ain't so bad. Maybe some people will be inspired and say, nah, man, I'm trying to move. Man, I'm trying to get one of them cribs down there on 12th and Center, man. You see that shit? It's fly down there. Imagine that, Kamar. Driving through the pit saying, when they build all this shit is beautiful. We finna move back down here. Man, I'm finna move on 17th and Ring. What? Kevin, you all right? I'd like to see that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in my feelings because I'm just frustrated with my own people because I hear us screaming for certain things. Screaming. Ready to go to the mattresses. And then you turn on the news and what you see. I mean, these got to be some of the worst baby mamas in the history of baby mama. Like they talk about men, man, listen to me. Shit. I'm trying to tell you. It's some women out here. And first of all, it's some bum ass dudes out here. If you a man and you got children and you don't take care of them, you are a bum. Point blank. It ain't no compromising. But kid, if you don't understand, dude, you're a bum. Because if she's tripping on you, imagine what your kid going through. You got rights in the court. You know that, right? You can go down there and say, man, she won't even let me see my son, but y'all want me to pay this child support. They will put an order on her. You got to let this man see his son. And you don't need no $1 million lawyer to do it. So if you ain't taking care of your kid, you're a bum. But if you was a baby mama and you ain't taking care of your kid, you a scumbag. Because you the nurturer. I see some women. Come on, man. We see it all the time. I want to get into specifics, but I see, and I'm like, what, girl? You gonna do that with them babies around there? Kids just sitting there like, man, drive through the hood. I've been driving.
A lot of women in our community got a too, man. You gonna get one or the other. You either gonna get the baby daddy that can't afford to take care of his child. Now he may have some time, but you know what I mean? Them the ones who baby mama push them out the kid's life because they ain't got no money to help with the child. Then you might have the one that can pay the money but ain't got the time. So now they mad because, okay, he paid his child support, but he don't spend no time with his kid. And usually that's how it is in our community. I ain't saying it's right, but that's how it is.
Everybody got tough decisions to make, look like to me.
Yeah, keep your legs closed. Got to keep your legs closed. A lot of people say, Kamar, that ain't fair, but that's fair. It's definitely fair, and it's real. You know what I'm saying? Additionally, hey, look, and this is probably one of the reasons why it wasn't so many single families, is because traditionally, like, you had a girl's father to get with her. You know what I mean? So you had to get the father's okay. You ain't finna rent nobody daughter. You know what I'm saying? And then put her back on the shelf. Like, you had to be really invested back in the day.
Tiffany Haddish came on and said, any woman with more than 2 baby daddies got a mental illness. She's mentally ill. And she went into this whole thing about, I know you've heard of soul ties, and she talked about the intermingling of DNA and how once you have sexual intercourse with a man, and like his DNA is kind of merged with yours. So she's saying like, and it all collects behind the eyes and the brain, and so if you have sex with too many men, raw dog, it can get in your DNA and mess up your brain. So you have mental health illness.
Hey, look, men literally leave their DNA in women when you have raw sex with them.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said it collects, and then once they do it with a lot of men, then that's what makes them kind of lose their rocker. I was like, damn. I thought more women was gonna be mad about that.
I do know, like, your soul get intertwined with people when you have sex with them, too. That's why I feel like, that's why I think a lot of strippers be off, man. Not strippers, but they be crazy in the fuck.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, they do. Look what they do every night. That's gotta fuck with you.
Saying. I think that has a lot to do with it. She got a
Shit. I know at first I was, Tiffany had us drunk again. I was laughing. Then I was like, wait a minute, hold on, damn it. Hey, because then I've always said, if you have 2 kids by 2 dudes and neither one of them take care of their kids, and you got to struggle with those 2, you should be way more protected on. I'm not doing that no more. I already got 2. To have 4 and 5 more, it's like, what was you thinking? I don't know that she was. Mama Jenkins says, did y'all hear that Elon Musk said if those Republicans vote for, they will not be reelected? Which if they vote for who, Mama Jenkins? You missed a word there. Anthony McGee, how you doing, my brother? He said, look at alligator Alcatraz from Trump. Yeah, Trump talking about putting people back in Alcatraz, man. Like, this your president right here. This dude don't care, man. You gonna cut $800 million from Medicare and then have $15 million golf trips. And this is being allowed to happen. It's y'all president, y'all.
How much did it cost him to go to the Super Bowl?
What was it? Like 15 million, something like that?
Something like that.
Dion said gentrification is not the answer. Please give me one. Give me one then. I don't know, man. I am not the genius that can fix Milwaukee. But I look at the options that we have. You can spend another 10, 15 years spinning your wheels, running around in circles, chasing your tail. You can start removing motherfuckers.
Hey, listen, man, Dion don't think nothing. He don't agree with nothing. We said lock their ass up. He didn't agree with that. We said, okay, well, let's go with gentrification then. Don't lock them up. Just get them out the community. No, that ain't the answer either. What the fuck is it, Dion?
There is no answer. There is no answer.
Shit.
No answer. No answer for this shit.
All this is without harming people, right? Like, our answers is keep trying to without harming people.
Yeah, and rewarding those who, I don't want to say this the wrong way. Mama Jenkins, you're right. I was referencing the big beautiful bill. So okay, I want people who work hard and who stand firm on, really trying to be positive and live with integrity. I want them to be rewarded, Kamar. So even within a gentrified community, we can still have places and spaces that are still black as they want to be. Like that, you can still have that. But this just, nobody wants to invest in this community. Nobody wants to build in this community when it's unsafe. And why would they? I'm not building no store there so they can break it. Look what we've lost Walmart. We've lost Walgreens. We're about to lose Pick and Save. How profitable is it working in the only people who make profits in the community is Arabs with gas stations and liquor stores. Earl Henning, how you doing, man? He said, what to do, my brothers? Chocolate milk, love us. Absolutely. Ladella Greer, big homie, what it do, man? He said, not scumbag. I didn't want to say bitch or hoe, man. I feel that's cliche now, right? To call. Yeah, y'all some hoes, y'all some bitches. I want to try to say something with some impact, so I said scumbag. You know what I meant to say, Kamar? I meant to say skeezer. But I didn't know if anybody was going to remember what that actually means. Yeah, scumbag, man. Yeah. Anybody who harmed kids is less than a human to me. Kids should be nurtured, man, and raised. I can't stand that. I can't stand to see somebody. I'd be in the store Have you ever been in like a store and there's a sister with some children and she was cussing it, motherfucking set your dumb ass up, and I'm sitting there like, why is you talking to that little baby like that? How do you expect him to communicate if this is what you're giving him in his formative years? You look at the kid, he's dirty, he's unkept. That's not his fault. That's you.
And how you think he gonna respect you when he get older? You can see it in their face too. How looking at they mugging the shit out their mama behind their back.
Right. No doubt, man. No doubt.
Like
I don't know.
Already being lost at that point.
I don't know if they know that. I don't know. Listen. What I'm telling you is, I think kids are the future, and I'm not trying to make an excuse or a cliche. I think if you ain't taking care of nurturing tomorrow, when you get old, who gonna take care of you? Earl Henning asked me, did they teach me scumbag? Did they teach me that in health class or biology? No, I learned that on Atkinson. Scumbag. I learned that on Atkinson. He said alligator Alcatraz is in the swamps of Florida. Oh, it's another one. I thought she was talking about him wanting to say he wanted to send people back to Alcatraz. Okay, put me up on that. Put me up on the new Alcatraz. I ain't up on that. Ernest said Kev Trump actually has swampland in Florida. Okay, he's building a prison with extra alligators in the motherfucker. No cap. I did not know that. Thank y'all for putting me up on that. So that's alligator. I heard him actually say he would consider opening Alcatraz back up. I heard him say that. So I wasn't up on the alligator Alcatraz. That's what's up. Crazy. But I tell you what. Who is he going to put there? Murderers, molesters, rapists? Or is he going to put immigrants there? Dion said there's really not an answer for crime. Well, no, because there's always going to be crime, but you have to do something to curb crime, though. It shouldn't be like it is. It shouldn't be the norm.
Hey, man, my thing is, I got no answer. You can't shoot down the shit that other people is saying. That ain't cool. That's making nobody do nothing then.
He said he's criminal minded. Now, y'all know come on, one of the solutions that they're trying to do is this community advisory committee. Okay. So the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department has come up with this. They're going to do community advisory, and they're going to have people who come in and who speak on behalf of the community. Right. I'm trying to get, because half of them are appointed by the sheriff, and then the other ones are, I guess, I don't know. I forget, but I'm gonna pull it up because I had a list of who all was on the board. I know, shout out to Vaughn Mays. I know he's on there. There was some people on there who I didn't know. Some of the people were just like regular citizens. Let me pull this up. So I don't know. Is this a good idea? Is the community ready to sit down and talk solutions with the sheriff's department? Because what do the sheriff's department, what they gonna say? We gonna keep the park safe? See what I'm saying?
But here's the thing too. Like, you know what I mean? We see how like white people sit down, like them types of white people sit down with you. Listen to all the shit that you got to complain about, then go back and fuck that shit. You never hear from it again. So just having a group of people about shit, I mean, that's a step. You know what I mean? I never say don't do it, but I just don't have faith that they really gonna listen. Okay.
I hear you. Like, if it ain't going nowhere, why do it? I totally agree with you on that. So this is her purpose, Kamar. She says the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office has established its first community advisory board to strengthen communication between residents and law enforcement. Sheriff Danita Ball announced a 15-member board Monday, June 30th, noting 9 members were selected by a panel of community leaders and 6 were chosen directly by her. Okay, so 9 of them were elected by community leaders. The board aims to serve as a forum for the community to share safety concerns with recommended solutions. The board includes the following members: Richard Caesar, Milwaukee Area Technical College; Alberta Zidwalowicz, retired, and I probably murdered that, but there's no way I know how to say that last name; Travis Landry from West Care, Wisconsin; Renee Logie Hinersky from United Neighborhood Centers of Milwaukee; Byron Marshall, who's self-employed; Vaughn Mays from Comforce MKE LLC; Michael McClone Carrere, Milwaukee School of Engineering; Eva Robinson from MPS, Anthony Smith from the Marcus Performing Arts Center, Robert Thibault II, Prison Action Milwaukee. Thibault, is that how you say his name? I don't know. Tequila Thomas from Safe and Sound, Faith Thomas Colas, the Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Tamika Vukovic from Everybody Votes, Bethina Weber, who's also retired, and Lakeisha Myers, educator, former legislator, says Sheriff Ball will meet with the board monthly to encourage accountability and transparency. Members include representation from local organizations, schools, and advocacy groups. So, okay. Once again, the sheriffs don't patrol the city. They don't patrol. So what they mean about?
Right.
Listen, I'm not no hater because every little bit helps, right?
Well, how about this? Let's Misty for now, because we see Vaughn Mays is in there, so he'll definitely be able to tell us what's going on once it gets started.
This is true, and I'm pretty sure there's some other people on there who are, well spoken and that
I've heard of a lot of the different groups, but I've never heard of none of those people. And some of those names, I doubt they would know, had their hands on the pulse of the community. You know what I'm saying?
So I guess my only question would be the reach, because maybe Milwaukee police should be involved in this. Why would the sheriffs do this by themselves instead of saying, hey, y'all come on in here too? Because the sheriffs don't patrol the streets.
No.
So once again, I'm saying, well, you want the zoo to be safe? Y'all want to talk about the parks? Like,
right. The highways?
Which we do have a problem there too, because we have shootouts on the
right.
highways. So I just want to know. I just look for transparency for anybody get their knickers in the bunch. Like, see, if people won't never. No, just let us know. You said transparency. Transparency regarding what?
But that's why Vaughn is in there. So you know what I mean? I'm sure we will be kept up to date. If he feel like something ain't right in that motherfucker, I'm sure he definitely gonna say something and we'll hear about it.
I'm glad he's there.
Right.
I'm glad he's there because at least we know.
Yeah, that's
somebody there who. Yeah, but once again, that's fine to have him there. But what can be done with this committee? What kind of action can they move on? It sounds like a group of people from a bunch of different places that might be able to share resources and network and create some programming.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Since he's there, you know what I mean? Like he'll be able to tell us what be done and what's being done.
Or tell them what they ain't doing.
Otherwise, if he wasn't there, I would feel like we would never know nothing about whatever it is they got going on, because I don't even know nobody they talking about. And they saying they was getting a group of people from the community. But shit, like I said, I never heard of a lot of these people.
Mama Jenkins says they changed Chicago, Robert Taylor Homes and Cabrini Green, and they gentrified them by tearing them down. So what the fuck is Dion talking about? He knows that gentrification will make shit better in the long run. It cut crime 75% in those areas. Now, some people argue that when they tore down the projects in Chicago, that it created a situation because then the crime just spread out across the rest of the city. But I definitely think tearing down those projects was a step in the right direction because they had become breeding grounds. They had become like real factories, just producing just generation after generation. So it might have need to be scattered, right? Like you bust up the hive and then you kill the bugs, right? I don't know. Once again, I'm no expert. I'm just a graceful host of Outlaw Radio. Humble.
I feel Dion a little. It's a part of me that for the emotional side of me feeling, right? I get it what he's saying because he thinking about the people that's there, our people, black people that's already there, that's gonna have to get this. You
the
know
ones who don't deserve it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an emotional part of me too that get it. You know what I mean? But like I look at it like this too. I'm working hard and doing all I can to get out and stay out of a toxic community.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it takes money to do that. It's going to take money to beat gentrification if I want to live where I want to live in the city too. So either way it go, I got to get some motherfucking money so I don't have to be in a toxic environment.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with not wanting to be in a toxic environment.
So, but even right now, if you want to remove yourself from a toxic environment, it's gonna take some money.
Right. I remember when we was growing up, I thought the idea was to get out the ghetto.
It was.
So it should still be that. Now,
yeah, because
change the neighborhood and for what? But the objective is to be out the ghetto.
Saddest part being, if I become successful and I try to stay, what's gonna happen to me?
You're gonna be a victim.
Exactly. That's what's gonna happen. No matter how much reverence you have, like everybody might be like, no, he stayed, woo woo. Somebody gonna be like, fuck, dude.
That's why I say it's an emotional side of me that feel bad for the families, you know what I mean, that deserve it. You know, like I'm sure people by now who probably really can't, you know what I'm saying, and get it up like that.
Or those elderly people that'll be moved out after they've worked 30 years and paid for their homes.
Right.
And, that's not fair. But there should be concessions made for them. That's what I mean, Kamar. Like they were trying to do this senior housing in McGovern Park. They wanted 5.5 acres. It's 61 acres. The county board turned them down. Now, even DC Crowley, who's the county executive, was saying, no, we need to do this. And they were saying, no, because it's going to disrupt the senior center that's there. And the argument is, no, this building that they're using now for the senior center, it needs millions of dollars worth of repairs. Where that money going to come from? So while we can get a grant to build housing, but they said, we don't want to start developing our parks. You can't give 5.5 acres to elderly people in a county park that they done pay so many taxes on over the years. They should own 5 acres of it anyways. Come on, man. He said, I agree with you on baby mamas doing psychological torture on kids, cursing at them like men. How does the child feel? If my own mama don't love me, nobody will. Enter the streets. We will love you. Scratching my head.
They turn these little boys into the men that they don't want.
Yeah, but it's emotional. It's emotional baggage, like a mom.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. We emotional men nowadays too. They turning these boys into the men that they don't want. The same type of men they don't want.
Anthony McGee, what you say in the chat room, my brother? He said, LOL, yep, gloves too.
Niggas, they all, in their face, around the kids, talk about men ain't shit. These niggas ain't shit, none of them. They all, and all that, you know what I mean? So what you think this little boy gonna grow up thinking?
Listen, imagine if you, Kamar, you 13, right? And now just think about this. You 13, you at school, right? Somebody looking on Facebook and they say, ain't this your mama? And she twerking in the club.
Right. How you gonna respect that?
She up in the club with her thong on.
How you gonna respect that?
She up on Facebook talking about, yeah, I was so wet last night. I needed somebody to come eat this.
Or on Facebook with one little skirts with the whole bottom of her booty out.
Man, I feel sorry for that.
That shit's ridiculous, dog. That shit's ridiculous. I'm a man, and I'll be like, dog, that shit's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? In the temperature of this culture. Now check it out, right? I understand. Additionally, our women was able to walk around with their titties out, their ass out, and everything, and it wasn't looked at as no issue. And it should be like that, but unfortunately, that ain't the temperature of the community right now. We live in the community which sex trafficking is running rampant. Kidnapping and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, fucking ridiculous, dog. Like, so yeah, what you think? What you think little boy, how you gonna feel about his mama? He in school and his friends showing him this picture of his mama with her booty out on Facebook.
Or just what she's saying.
Ridiculous, man.
Right? Like, what? That's gonna start an instant hatred for women for him right there. Like this mother got me looking bad, right? Sharita Shaw, she says poverty is a crime. Fucked up. Especially when you know what, I'm over blaming. I think the system that we've lived in America for so long, because we've been excluded from so much legally. Because for a long time, the criminal part of racism was not the hatred that white people expressed. It was the legal nature of it. It was the fact that they were legally allowed to redline, legally allowed to discriminate. It was on the books. It was legal. And so That's the criminal part of it. So when you do that, then it does bring in poverty when you exclude people, when you underserve people, when you exploit people. Yeah, that kind of lights a match under the poverty pilot light. So yeah, I do think it's a criminal element to it too. Mama Jenkins, she said that was better. My father lived there for 60 years and yes, made it different. It did spread the bugs around, but it cut down crime in those specific areas. She's talking about the projects. She said her father lived in the projects for 60 years, and she said it made a difference. It did spread the bugs around, but it's easier to get them when they spread out than running up in that motherfucker. There was a reason police didn't want to rush Cabrini. They knew it was plenty crime going on.
Oh yeah,
they wasn't gonna run up in there. Like that's a fortress. We're not going in there.
Them some more, and they some motherfucking killers.
Yeah. Earl Henning said teaching hate. Anthony said truth, brother. Turning these boys into the men they hate. Truth bomb. The men that the mama hates, right? Yeah. It's his fault. It's his fault that the daddy ain't. Your daddy wasn't shit and you ain't gonna be shit either. Right? You know, and there's a lot of women who, because of what they've been through and what they've had to deal with men, there's some hate. There's some women who hate men, right?
Remember
there's some men who hate women too. So I don't want to just make it one step, but there is some who hate men.
Remember, and I was talking about the graduation, and I was saying the teacher was just talking about the boy that she was about to call up. You know how they say, now this one right here, she called him a little boy, a playboy and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? Like you glamorizing the whole playboy thing. Type, you know what I'm saying? So he feel like this is cool and he don't get on stage and do his dance and shit. And, you know, it's an 8th grade graduation, man. You know what I mean? Sitting this boy off in a high school thinking he a playboy instead of a young man. You dig what I'm saying? So like, so yeah, you know what I mean? You turning this boy into the type of man that you hate.
Look how many teachers we have messing with students. Y'all please go buy my cousin's book. Your mindset is your liability. Breon Worthy, go buy my cousin's book, man.
He gonna be a little heartbreaker.
All right.
Why is that cool?
Let me see. I'm in the chat room still. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Let me see. Mama Jenkins, she said, my dad lived in the north side of Chicago, more like closer to downtown, but crime was not like those damn projects. Dion said the media blows crime up in our community. In West Dallas, a man kills his neighbor, and we only heard about it for a few bits. I talked about that. You probably wasn't here for the beginning of the show, Dion. I talked about the West Dallas police murdering a 71-year-old who had just shot a 72-year-old, and there was another elderly woman that was involved too. I talked about that. I said crime ain't just in the city. Look, they just had a mass shooting. Where? They just had a mass shooting. Where was that? It's in one of these places that we're typically not at. Damn, I should know. I should know. It just happened. It was another situation where they said it was an ambush. It was on firefighters. Where was that at? In Colorado? No, it wasn't in Colorado. Shit. Where was that at? Somebody figure out where that was at. It just happened over the weekend. You know, and Dion, when you say the media blows crime up in our community, do we need for it to be blown up when we know what's happening? We just seen 2 police officers shot. We seen 14, 15-year-olds murdered. They've had quadruple shootings. They've had triple shootings. Multiple people dying. Do we need to? Can the media? Do they have to blow that up? It's there. I get what you're saying though about them trying to make us kind of like the poster children of crime, which is totally false. As if they don't commit crimes against each other, right? But I'm just saying, and I don't take into account when I do my show. I'm not really taking into account what the white people think about us or what the white media is saying about us. I try to speak from our perspective, what we see. We know we have a problem with violence in our community. Whether they blow it up or not, we know there's an issue. So we just be real about it. We don't need to sugarcoat it. The media plays its part. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about the influence of the music and the movies and all this. Yes, the media plays its part. Absolutely, it does. But black people, you got to stop falling for the okie doke too. Does the media make 50% of these kids not go to school? Somebody please answer for me. Tell me that statistic was false. Kev, actually, that's inaccurate. I would love to be proven wrong on that because I think it's fucking sad that 50% of our kids don't go to school. Once you see that happen, what you think these kids gonna do? You have no job skills. You can't read. You can't do what my mom used to call arithmetic. You don't have critical thinking. You don't have a conflict resolution. You're not going to be a productive part of society. You know what I'm saying? So I think it starts there. I think school is something that we got to get back in. Shout out to Sharita Shaw. She said murder, suicide. Mama Jenkins said is in Idaho where the mass shooting was. Thank you, Mama Jenkins. Love my outlaw family, man. Whenever I don't know something, Kamar, they're going to jump on that horse for me. In Idaho. But there's mass shootings everywhere. Look, white people commit. Now, we didn't have some black people kind of step over the line and do something recently. But white people are they still dominating that sport in terms of mass shootings. So if you're gonna be scared of anybody, you need to be scared of a weird white dude. I know, look at white dude, he's weird as hell. You don't know what he's gonna come out with. He might shoot up the whole bar. Earl Henning said no fathers in the house. Too bad for her when she was a kid. He's telling me Idaho too. He said Ida the hoe. Hold on, don't say that. My mama name was Ida, not Ida the hoe. Idaho. Right. But no, my point in that all that is, and see, having a father is very, very important. Don't get me wrong. But Kamar, if you don't have a father, having other positive male role models kind of comes after that. So it's bad enough that your dad's not there, but then the layers in the community. Like I talked about this back in the days. I don't want to be that type of person always saying back in the days either, because it was some fucked up shit back in the days too. But in those neighborhoods, like my neighborhood, which was a beautiful neighborhood, if a kid didn't have a dad, the older brothers in the neighborhood would offer him shit. Hey, little Tyrone. Hey, man, how you doing, man? Hey, man, you want to make some money? You come over here and cut this grass, show my snow, and I'll give you a couple dollars. My father used to load up his pickup truck and take everybody with him. I used to be so pissed, Kamar. We going to Menominee Falls to ride our horses. We going to ride the horses. Why you taking all these fools? I used to be so mad. He used to be like, it ain't your money. What you worried about it for? I'm like, I don't want all these niggas going because you know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up having to walk them around on the damn horse. I came to ride. I didn't come to give rides. So, but then he explained to me, he said, these dudes ain't got no daddies. They don't have what you got. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that somebody show them some love. I hate to see these young fellas out. It didn't register to me still then, Kamar, because I'd be like, fuck that.
Right.
Why are you bringing all these dudes?
Right.
Right. We get up there. I get one ride by and then say, Kevin, go and get these boys a ride. Dude, are you serious?
You want to show them how to do it and everything.
I don't want them there. I'm going to get on the horse and take off. I'm going on the trail. Come on. He got hip to my said, don't you go off and stay too long. You got all these. I don't got these niggas up here. You do. It used to be funny, man. It used to be fun. But I got it. I got it as I got older. Yeah. And when my son has any of the little fellas that he hang around, you got to get to know Pops too. What's up, man? How you doing? I'm gonna smoke you out because I know it when I see it. I tell him that's a little street nigga right there. That ain't what you want.
It's a few men around now like that, man, but it's just so far in between. The community a lot worse now.
Yeah, because you don't want to be running up on them dudes. Man, get your old ass out of here. Man, got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Your little church shoes all in the street and shit. You gotta be careful. So it has changed, but I'm just saying. And then the men, like, did you see this young boy who got drafted and he didn't want to play in Salt Lake City? He didn't want to play in Utah, play for the Jazz.
I ain't watched the draft.
I didn't watch the draft. I just heard about it because he was complaining. He said before the draft, I don't want to play in Utah. They drafted him. I don't want to play in Utah. I forget his name. He was an early, he was an early pick. I'm like, dude, this is $50 million. And you talking about you don't want to play there.
Do it, make shit.
You soft, man. These
$50 million. Get your $50 million and go where you want to go.
Or bring your people to you.
Yeah.
I'm build a little capital around me in a gated community.
No, hey, look. I was just looking at you can go whatever city you want to after you get your $50 million.
After the season over?
Yeah. That contract or whatever shit.
It's a different mentality. It is a different kind of, it's a different mentality for young men. And I get it because, they said the men who raised us they implanted a toxic masculinity on us. Because them brothers, them old school cats ain't play with you, man. They ain't play. Get your ass off my grass. and you wasn't gonna be like, fuck you.
Agree with the whole.
So who we got here?
That's the only way I could see identity being toxic. You know what I mean? Or a motherfucker just being overboard, like overboard misogynistic or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you just hate women and shit. That could be toxic masculinity. But I feel like shit, single women started that bullshit, man.
Check this out. I got Dion on the line.
It's only toxic because we what you don't want.
I got Dion on the line. Dion, you've been chiming in the chat room. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hello, my African American brothers. How are you guys doing?
I'm not African American. I'm a foundational Black American.
Oh, Kim, I don't know about that one, man. There's so many. We want to be whatever, man.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you for permission. I told you what I was. I didn't say, Dion, can I be? I didn't ask you for permission. I told you what I was.
I hear you, man. So. I don't know if they got that on the application though, neither though. But hey, if you want to be what y'all call it, foundational, what is it, FBA?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Nothing, just sitting back, because me and you had the conversation a little bit this weekend about the shit that happened with the police, and I just with the gentrification thing, I don't think like my whole thing is this, like even though we can sit back and look at Milwaukee, but it's crime up everywhere though. Like these niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? I do hate that it's us though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so sad. You know what I'm saying? I be like, man, how many? Like a friend of mine, me and him was talking, and everybody got their time to leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? I was wondering, like, when you engage in risky behavior, is that really pushing your time ahead of your time? You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody in the line to get in the graveyard, though. So I feel sorry for the family of the police that happened to. I definitely feel sorry for his partner. That was senseless violence. And they call it black on black crime because it was black police officer and a black man killed him. But the young man because I don't think that's what he intended to do. Like he messed up. I don't know what type of drugs he was on, but what did you didn't do nothing that bad where you needed to shoot the police, my guy. Whatever you did, you could have ducked off that pistol, hid it somewhere, and got loose on their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did something very unthinkable, and your life's going to be hell in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just not only doing all that time, and then you better hope, because if they could find some way to get it, to make it federal, he's eligible for the death penalty because Messiah Trump want to give people to kill police officers the death penalty. And that'll be right up his alley. From Wisconsin, so if they can, and I don't know what type of gun, maybe they can look at that gun, if they can modify that gun and say, oh, this federal, and you killed the police, and you shot another police, oh, we sending you to the feds. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what makes you think he didn't mean for that to happen? You had an assault rifle, you was hiding in a dark alley. So if it wasn't two police officers, it would have been two innocent people. He had already been shooting in front of the house. That's why they were called and dispatched to the scene. So why would you say he didn't mean for that to, like, okay, so here we go. I don't think there should be any empathy for this kid.
Hey, Kev, I agree. I feel like I don't think his intent was for it to be two black officers. I think his intent was just two officers, period. Like, he probably wasn't thinking, oh, they black, let me get at them. Or he was probably like, well, shit, police, they finna get.
So if he shot two white police officers,
this is
I think it's the same thing.
Type of demonstration here. I think he'd have shot at whoever came in the alley.
Right. So that in itself is where my issue is. It ain't just about, because I just said, maybe he wasn't intending to kill 2 police officers, but he was intending on killing someone. If it wasn't 2 cops, it would have been 2 innocent people.
Somebody would have came down that alley and got it.
Which is an issue for me. That's why I say I don't know if I have any empathy for him.
Well, the cops are 2 innocent people too. But I don't think by his criminal record and what he did negated that he felt like, oh, it's life or death with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't a 6-time felon. He hadn't killed 3 or 4 motherfuckers, and
so what?
You know, he trying to do suicide by cop. You know what I'm saying?
So
like
what?
Maybe to keep it real with you, maybe he's just trying to fire some warning shots to scare him off, and they end up hitting their ass. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You sound the way you sound right now sounds like you're kind of callous. Like you're not really. You don't have any.
That's just like somebody get pulled over by the police. You get pulled over by the police, you squeaky clean, you just got off work, ain't never been arrested a day in your life, ain't never did nothing a day in your life, and all of a sudden you gonna get into a shootout with the police. What is behind that? So when they looked at the young man record, the only thing he had was riding a stolen Kia. So what would and okay, like you said, he shooting up a house ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
like,
shooting a house with an assault rifle ain't shit?
I'm not gonna I can't minimize it, but see, you also
just
gotta understand. Hold on, listen. I've been in the streets before, and a motherfucker aired a motherfucking house out. If a motherfucker wanted to kill somebody, he could have ran up in the house and killed the motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying, though? So he did some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He did shit that niggas do out here. Motherfucker Swiss cheese house. Boom.
You know what should happen? You know what should happen when somebody Swiss cheese somebody's house? They actually get locked up. Come on, man. Listen.
I agree with you on that.
But you, I think you missing my point. I don't know if you're missing the point, but you're missing mine. It doesn't matter who he killed. It matters that he killed somebody. And he shot 2 people. And I'm not gonna sit around and speculate on whether he meant for it to happen or you wasn't really in that much trouble, or that none of that matters now. I say send him to where you send people who shoot not only people but police officers, and let him deal with every.
Going there.
Well, it's right. So then we don't need to worry about what. Hey, why you do that? Did you really mean for this to happen? It don't matter. He can go in court and cry and say, I thought there was squirrels. I was squirrel hunting. It ain't gonna matter. The fact that we got young men in our community that think it's cool, and you know everything on Facebook. I'm telling you, Lockhart Media put the footage up. I shared it in the People's News Network. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to see it. They put the footage of him standing in front of the house just with the gun up in the air. It's babies here, man. What you doing? I have no empathy, sympathy. I don't care if he ain't had no daddy. I don't care if he lived in foster homes his whole life. His mom was a crackhead. He a crack. I don't care. Get him and everybody like him out of
wrong. Wrong is wrong.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? See, me and a friend of mine, we was just talking about
you ain't got no business outside waving no assault rifle around in the air. Period. So whatever happens after that, you brought on to yourself.
And all that is agreed upon. But me and a friend of mine, we were just talking about this particular thing, how black people, we be so quick to throw another black person away. You know, like if he was white, because you hear how the white people, maybe he was having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? What really went on? We just fuck.
Let me make a quick point to you though. Listen to what you just said. Now this is what you just said, Dion. You said black people, we're quick to throw somebody away, right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
But then you said white people will be like, well, maybe he was having a bad day, right? But it's not us who quick to throw somebody away. It's the fact that when people do things that affect other people, they should be removed. Like quick to throw somebody away. I'm quick to say if you shoot down 2 police officers, you should be gone. Is that throwing you away on GP? That's me being honest. You should be gone.
If you shoot 2 people, period. And you know what I mean? And they intent ain't to kill you, you should be gone.
And if he was white, I would still say the same thing.
Listen, if I feel like police kill an unarmed man, black,
he should
white,
go to jail.
Whatever color it is, he should be the fuck gone.
Should go to jail. I don't care what race he
Wrong
was.
is wrong.
Right.
Ain't nothing hard about that. Wrong is wrong.
Because he was black? No, you take your black ass to jail too. She said, shovel some snow. I'm catching up with the chat room. Earl Henny said he showed you. Are you talking about my dad? He showed you how to be a better man for our kids out here. I didn't know what he was doing. I was pissed. I used to be pissed. Like, well, dude, why? Stop it, man. Stop it.
Yeah.
Sharita said, hey, they won't let me share y'all show no more. I don't know what's up with that. You know what? Facebook, what I've learned, Facebook plays with the algorithms, and I don't pay them, right? They always saying, boost this, boost that, boost this. I don't give them any money. So, you know, some shows will have 1,200 views and it'll be popping, and everybody be like, I seen the show. And then somebody say, dude, you was on? I didn't get no notification. I couldn't log on. It's just the games Facebook plays. So I guess some nights they decide who can share the show and who can't. It is what it is. Until I get a platform where I'm not paying them though. I don't pay them. I don't boost any posts. I don't do it. I have zero marketing except for sharing the show. So I'm guessing they like, well, dude, how you gonna eat off us and not pay us? So go share. You can share the YouTube problem. I don't either, but I think they just want the money.
You know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck people see.
Right. I have no clue.
Pay these motherfuckers however much money it costs. And
that's why I don't trip on numbers. That's why I don't trip on numbers. Come on, I done seen us have some great in-depth conversations. Everybody out there is chiming in. It's building, and the shit will be low. And then I see somebody on some bullshit run around with something stuck up their ass on and they have like 9,000 views in the first hour. So Vanilla Ice outsold X-Clan. So I don't always pay attention to the numbers, man. You know what I'm saying? So I just do it, and hopefully you can get in touch with it. But I appreciate you for trying to share, my sister. You probably should get on the YouTube joint at the People's Network with a Z, and you can share it there if you want to, share and support. We appreciate it. That's for anybody.
Did you see what I put in the People's Network?
Man, it's so many people. My goodness. Hold on, let me finish the comments, Dion.
I think I shared it with you.
Let me finish the comments. She was saying FBA. I said that to Dion because Dion ain't with it, so I don't need to explain it to him. Earl Henning said he's good enough to get that bag from playing that ball. Yeah, but you spoiled, man. Go get your money. You listen. I just think it represents a mentality of entitlement and spoiled, soft nature of our young men today. Like he ain't even. Yeah, you can play ball. Yeah, you earned it. Yeah, da. Or you could be saying, you know what? I'm about to change my family's life. If I got to sacrifice and go up to Utah, I'm finna go up there. I'm gonna build my mama a house. I'll be able to. Because if you got $50 million, you can fly out whenever you want to. The bottom line is you need as the least amount of distractions that you can get. You're about to be in the NBA. You need to be focused solely on basketball. So your ass don't need to be in New York.
Beautiful too.
Yeah, well, I heard that, but I mean, I know it's a lot of racism up there because of the
Mormons.
Yeah, Brigham Young, who said black people had tails for a long time. Sharita Shaw told me to hang Dion up. She said, back him up. Earl Henny said, White Conson. He said a killer gonna be a problem no matter what. Yeah. I mean, he deserves no sympathy. Chicago public school. Earl, what you talking about? He said we shouldn't have to live with all this violence, killing each other, and do not care nothing about nobody. Nada. I agree. Mama Jenkins said, what about the trauma of the family and the people in the community? That's what I'm saying. When you talk about Swiss cheese in somebody's house, ain't no big deal. If it's little babies in there laying on the floor, or say one of them get hit, that ain't shit. That's a big deal. If somebody pulled up on I don't know what my neighbor got going on. I don't know what drama he got going on. But if somebody pulled up right now and let off into his house, I'd be like, oh shit, this is a big deal. This is for real. This should not be a norm. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're right, Mama Jenkins. Anthony McGee says no sympathy for the shooter either. Look, I hate to say it, but if there's ever a black utopia, some of us can't come. That's what Marcus Garvey said. Everybody wasn't gonna be able to get on the steamship.
Hey, I feel like my cousin Blade found the place of utopia, dog. Dog live in Dallas. It's a neighborhood. Bunch of black people. Ain't no crime in this neighborhood, man. I ain't heard a police siren the whole time I was there. I ain't even see the police the whole time I was there.
That's crazy.
People don't bother each other. Hey, clean is a motherfucker. You wouldn't even know it's a bunch of black people living there.
What's the name? That's what Charleston White is from Dallas, and he always talking about the crime. They always talking about how bad Dallas is. What is he in the suburbs or he in the city?
I'm sure it depends on where in Dallas you is, but
right.
You know what I mean. You know, it's huge, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is a community.
Is he in the suburbs or is he in Dallas? That's what I'm asking.
It's probably just outside of Dallas.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm really not sure exactly, but like. When we put in the GPS, it's Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, Texas is huge.
But you know, it's like a bunch of. It's just like Milwaukee. How Milwaukee got a lot of small towns.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is there.
Texas is huge. If you've never been there, I don't think you can understand how big it is.
All I'm saying is he found the community, man. It's a community. Like most black people ain't fucking with each other. They ain't stealing shit. They ain't flying up and down the street. People ain't dying at the street, crossing the street and shit, and ain't none of that shit going on.
I remember I went to San Antonio way back in the days, and I was bugging out because of how big Texas is, right? So like I'm in San Antonio, and the dude who I'm talking to says, I said, well, where's Houston at? And I think he must have said like 4 hours. I was like, 4 hours?
Yeah, Houston 4 hours away from San Antonio.
And then he was like, no, this is northern Texas. And he started telling me, he said, this state is like 5 Wisconsins. I was like, what? Yeah. I didn't believe it. But Texas is huge. And I never seen
I had thought about touring the Texans stadium, the Houston Texans stadium. And it was like, man, Houston 3 hours away from here. Like, maybe not.
Those Latinos down there had the biggest belt buckles I've ever seen in my life. And I was in Walmart. Mm-hmm. I was in Walmart selling knives, right? Those knives that you go to the demonstration where they cut the aluminum can and they cut a piece of wood and all that. I was selling them in Walmart.
You was getting it out the mud.
Hey man, I was trying to make it, man.
Getting it out the mud, boy.
I was trying to stay off Atkinson, man. That degree hadn't kicked in yet, man.
Whatever it takes.
Got my ass on a plane, went all the way to San Antonio. And then I realized it because they wanted me to come here and do it in the Walmarts in Wisconsin. And I'm like, I'm not going to be fucking around in northern Wisconsin up there by myself selling these knives. So I had to shake dude. He was mad. He spent I made about 4 G's, man, in a weekend fucking with dude. He thought he had one. I ain't participating in your pyramid scheme.
Man, check this perspective out. I just thought about this, right? Like talking about gentrification again. What if we looked at gentrification as the government getting rid of the problem people in the community, the people that's committing the crimes? What if we looked at it as them cleaning the neighborhood up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I don't even got no comment. Why did you think I said that's all that's left?
Why would we? Because why would we want to live in a toxic neighborhood?
Why? Why don't you want it cleaned up?
Why would we want to live around murder? Motherfuckers trying to steal our shit all the goddamn time. I mean, like right now, even on this show, asking for the leaders in the community to do something about it.
He froze.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's something.
I'm not.
I do agree. It's wrong to put people out the community that don't deserve to be. They done paid all their taxes over these years, 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? And then now they can't afford their taxes. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all put them out, displace them, make them. Now they got to get rid of the house they done had their whole life and shit. And been living right, been doing the right thing. They just can't afford it. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Like I said,
when you talk about the people that's harming the community, you know what I mean? Really, like I say, you got to think about how can you get past the problem. If gentrification is the problem, getting money is the solution. So we got to figure out how to get legal money. You know what I mean? And if you can't figure it out, then you're gonna have to move out till you can figure it out to move back where you want to be.
Well, you're gonna get ran out anyways if the dysfunction don't stop. You're eventually gonna have to leave because you're gonna be like, I can't even live here. She said law is law though. That's Earl. I mean, that's Sarita Shaw. Earl Henning said anybody kill anyone. He said it's killers everywhere. This is true. This is very true. Mama Jenkins said Oak Cliff is terrible, and that's in Dallas. Oak Cliff.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of horrible neighborhoods in Dallas. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about the part where he is, where I visited.
Sharita Shaw said Kamar that part. And then Earl Henning said it's time for a change, which I agree with. Ernest Walker said Kamar, they want you gone too. They not gonna quiz you. They not gonna quiz you on if you a good guy or not. Which I know, but what I'm saying is this, Ernest. The reason why
let me answer that because he's talking about me.
I feel like that. I know. I feel like I said that earlier though. Because I said those of us who deserve to stay. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it don't matter what they want. If my money right, I can live where the fuck I want to live. So I don't care if they want me here. I know they don't want me here. They don't want none of us here. They don't want no black people here. But the problem got no motherfucking choice. If I got my shit together, they can't move me the fuck out nowhere. I don't need no quiz. They ain't got to quiz me. They ain't nothing they can say.
Is it about racism? I'm asking this question. I know there's people out there way smarter than me, y'all. So listen, when we start to talk about gentrification, is it about race or is it about money? Because there are some black people here who have some money. They've managed to get them a little change. They're not rich, not millionaires, but enough to maintain. So, like he said, like Kamar said, it doesn't matter what they want if I got the money. I get Ernest on him saying, well, they want your ass gone too. But I'm under the belief that if I got the bread to keep mine, they can't move me around.
Right.
Unless we get on some KKK shit. I mean, it's a possibility.
And for the record, they never wanted us here. They've been wanting us gone.
They wanted us gone so bad they left.
So that ain't.
They wanted us gone so bad they moved out. Like, no, fuck it, we'll leave. We'll leave. Y'all stay here.
That ain't nothing new.
She said I changed my zip code a long time ago. Sharita Shaw said that. Sharita Shaw said that part. Listen, man, I'm saying this, and I'm not a brother who don't love the community, man. I tell people all the time, I thought where I grew up at was the most beautiful neighborhood in the world. And I can remember, this ain't been that long ago, man. I love the neighborhood. I'm like, man, the hood is where it's at. Man, I love the hood. Man, once I left and I moved further out and I didn't hear or see the things, you know what I'm saying? That I said, nah, I ain't going back. Dude, I drive through there now. You think I'd be driving through there saying, man, I got to come back over here and buy me a crib, man. I'd be like, fuck this shit. I'm heading further north. I'm heading further northwest because it's so bad that you can't prosper. Like they make it, if I don't want to live in a situation where I got to put a lock on everything, can't leave my grill out, can't leave my shovel out, wake up in the morning and stole all my shit out of my yard, broken my car. It's like, dude, come on, man. My garage, why do I have to live in a maximum security prison? You know what I'm saying? It's just, for me, it's such a quandary, but it has to come down to a hard decision. So now our alternative becomes, so we're going to have to live in this gentrified community with all these white people. We're going to have to work extra hard to make sure we got our money so we can keep our position. But that's what life is anyways, ain't it? Right? Location. That's why the more money people get, the better neighborhood they live in, the safer neighborhood.
Being comfortable?
Yeah. Would I be comfortable if I had a bunch of bread and I lived on, I'm picking random blocks, y'all, so if you're from this neighborhood, please don't be mad at me. Would I be comfortable on 26 in Burleigh if I had a whole bunch of money right now with cars sitting in my yard and my house is all nice? I wouldn't be safe. I had to sleep. I'd have to have burglar alarms, motion sensors, all ring,
right.
Insurance. You gotta move out. I'm sorry. It's the way it is.
So would you be wrong if you had your money right and you happen to be there and they start gentrifying the neighborhood and you don't have to move?
I don't think you'd be wrong.
You ain't wrong.
And if they come harassing you, you got a hell of a lawsuit. And listen, people might think, come on, we sounding like.
Now look. Now here's another option. What I know they do, like they'll try to buy your property.
That's right.
And they'll offer you an extreme amount of money too. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you. Will you gonna drink the Kool-Aid and let them move you out, or you gonna keep your shit?
Depending on what they offer me. If it's triple the price, come on, I'm out of there.
You know what I'm saying? Give me another spot in another nice neighborhood. Right.
What he said, as soon as I got my check, I was gone. I'm out. What you say?
Give me that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, man. And I'm a burp after I drink it. Like, I'm out of here. Shit. I didn't even get no $1 million, and I got the fuck up out of there. Fuck that. She said, y'all need but on live. What I think you missed some words in there, Sharita. But no, it's a deep conversation, man. And I'm sure everybody feels a certain way. If you really love us and you have enjoyed, I've enjoyed growing up on the north side of Milwaukee. I've always thought it was dope that we had this black community. I used to say it was Chocolate City, the real Chocolate City. And now we see that it's the bottom done fell out. And it's not those same black homeowners. See, they were the pillars of the community, right? Those black homeowners who had overcome segregation and got a chance to go and buy a house, open housing. Because for a long time, they wouldn't let us move north of Walnut. And so my parents were in that first generation. They got a chance to go up on Capitol Drive and buy them a house. And those brothers and sisters took immaculate care of their property for the most part. Even over there, Kamari, over in y'all neighborhood, you had so many black homeowners and their yards, everything was kept up. They took pride in the neighborhood. They said, nah, man, we worked our ass off of this. Yeah. This is our dream. And so now when you go on those communities, they're not there anymore. Those homeowners ain't there no more.
Hey, you couldn't even play on their grass.
No, get your ass off my grass and be serious.
What is going on?
Look, we used to steal rob fruit trees. That's how beautiful our neighborhood was. So he had pears, he had apples, he had grapes. We get out of my yard. We running.
It's a grapevine about a half mile away.
Man, fuck around. Somebody be like, I know where it's a peach tree. You lying? Right. We on our way on the dirt bikes, man. We finna jump.
Let's go see.
Man, he getting that one. If y'all don't get your ass out my yard.
I didn't grow up in that type of utopia. I grew up in the concrete jungle.
Okay. That's what's up. And not everybody did, though. You're right. Not everybody did. Yeah, listen. Somebody tell me where the hell this brother on Atkinson got this kangaroo from. I'm so confused about the brother on Atkinson.
He's a black kangaroo. He probably don't have no kangaroo. He probably got a wallaby. A wallaby and a kangaroo look alike, except a wallaby is smaller than a kangaroo. You can have Miss Pet. I get you any type of animal you want.
I don't want no wallaby.
A lion. My guy got an anaconda. I had a Burmese python.
I know you can get snakes, but if it's a wallaby or a kangaroo, it's something you don't see every day. I'm like, what are you gonna do when you get me?
Hey,
what you say? You said who eating right?
So I bet you that eating right.
He's
hungry. The wallaby hungry.
Well, he might not be hungry, but I bet you, for one, eat a whole bunch of bullshit. And he probably eat nothing that's native to his land. Because
eat farina
to his land here.
Eating dog food.
I mean, you probably could feed him motherfucking pineapples and papaya and mango and stuff. I mean, you're going to have to balance it out.
Is that what they eat in Australia?
I don't know.
I don't know what's the native food in Australia.
That's my point. That's why I said he probably ain't eating right.
What if the brother what if the brother who had him because he had him on a leash, he looked pretty tame? Maybe he is doing the research, giving him, like, I got to make sure the kangaroo get fresh vegetables. What if he is, though? What if he is? I just want to know where he got it from. I ain't never seen no pet store with no damn... I've never seen that before in my life.
What exotic pet dealer you know, nigga?
What the fuck, man? You got it for real? Like,
I told you I can get you a wallaby, my guy. You want a wallaby?
Send me an ad right now. Send me an ad.
You want a fox?
No, I want a wallaby. Send me the ad. I'm going to look at it this weekend.
Let me see, because I was in this group of exotic pets.
Send me one. No, I just thought it was weird.
Because I was in this group. Y'all said because I was in this group about exotic pets. Nigga, you can't get no wallaby.
You can get a wallaby.
I got pairs of wallabies.
Hey, you can't.
If that brother got one, Dion probably could come out. He didn't look too. No, I don't want to say nothing personal about the brother because I don't know him. But he was in the hood. He was on 11th. He was on 11th and Atkinson. I know that wallaby was like always shooting over here. I want to stay in the house.
You know, dolphins could get anything.
I was getting stillborn pigs from my snake.
That ain't no wallaby.
That ain't no wallaby, nigga. That's easy.
No, it ain't. I bet you can't get no stillborn pigs.
Stillborn pig. I don't even know if I want to go where they keep them.
Go to a slaughterhouse somewhere probably and get one.
But you said dolphin.
Look at your messages right now.
Where all the motherfucking farms is. Find a pig farmer. You could get one.
He said dolphins. The dolphins stole. Where they steal the zoo? They stole the wallaby from the zoo.
Dolphin to get anything. Ain't no telling where they get
it. That dolphin.
I'm gonna pop up at your door. Hey fam, I got a wallaby.
Imagine if the dolphin is jumping the fence at County Stadium. Now, is this in America? Is this a white dude with a wallaby, Dion? I want to see somebody in the hood with one. You sent me a picture of a white dude holding a wallaby. That's the group.
It's called Wildwood Exotic Pets. That's what it's called.
Right, but I want to know the context on it. Where is he at? Is this America? And can I call him right now and say, man, let me get one of them? And he'll say, y'all meet me at meet me in Wauwatosa. I'll bring it to the mall. Like, I want to know. Because instead of me getting me a dog, I just give me a wallaby and name it Leroy. And I'd be on the picture. Mine would be eating good, though. I have all kinds of exotic vegetables in the backyard for him. Right. Get on out there, man. Eat you some carrots and shit.
I trust that you will feed them right, Kev.
What if I come in my yard and be like, that ain't no dog? They got a kangaroo.
Niggas don't treat dogs right.
Right. Dog don't got no water. He got flies all over him. Kangaroo in the yard just tied up like this bullshit. Right.
Some motherfucking dogs get treated very well.
Yeah, we know you love them, but
St. Louis. They going to St. Louis with me. They gonna have their own bed to sleep in. I feed them a mixture of eggs, scrambled eggs, brown rice with ground turkey, with peas and carrots. They eat kale and spinach. They ain't too big on fruit. You gotta like trick them to eat the fruit.
That's crazy that you do that for dogs. Like that is, you might be a Karen, Dion. You and your dogs, man. You on some Karen shit with the dogs.
I don't play about my dogs.
You don't even like black kids, but you like dogs. You done said on here a million times you hate kids, but you giving puppies ground turkey and scrambled eggs.
I ain't gonna say I hate kids. They just not my favorite thing.
You ain't got to say you hate. You say, man, I don't like kids, man. I don't fuck with kids, man. Fuck that.
I don't like kids.
Okay, so you like to feed puppies and don't like kids.
I love my dogs.
Wow, boy, you are what they call it, an enigma wrapped up in a what they call it, a paradox. An enigma. You a different kind of dude, man. I can't stand kids. I just put a sweater on my puppy. Like what? What's up with this dude, man? He said Earl Henning said 7 Mile Fair. What about 7 Mile Fair?
Probably
what about
you get a wallaby from 7 Mile Fair?
So they selling wallabies at 7 Mile Fair now, or is they kangaroo? Because we still don't know if this was a kangaroo or a wallaby. Dion, you ain't proved that.
He's listening to bro. It's not no kangaroo.
How do you know this?
Because the kangaroo damn near gets 7 foot tall.
This was a baby. This was not a full grown. This whatever this was, it was still in
it might have looked like a kangaroo, but it's a wallaby. And if you don't know the difference between a wallaby and a kangaroo, you're like, oh, he got a baby kangaroo.
How you saying what it was? You ain't seen.
We all seen the same footage. I mean, maybe this dude needs to be on the news if he ain't on the run. Like, we just want to know.
He will be. He probably finna be on the news soon.
That's viral. That clip is viral. Yeah. That clip is viral right now because people like
in front of the liquor store. This nigga in front of the liquor store with the motherfucking kangaroo.
And the kangaroo is kind of like trying to eat off the ground, like I'm hungry as shit.
Right.
Kangaroo eating dog food.
Straight up.
Farina.
Eating motherfucking flaming hots and shit.
Kev, do you be on Milwaukee mug shots?
I do not. I don't go on Milwaukee mug shots. You know what? I try not to.
Though.
Anything where I see it's a collection of like fight videos or people getting messed up really bad or like mug shots, I don't deal with it. Like I don't go on it because I don't want to bring that kind of stuff in. You know, like when they have fight videos, a lot of times I will skip past them, especially if it's at like a club or a bar or something like that. I'm like, I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I'll watch one, and if it's really funny, I'll put it into people's news network. But I'm not in no groups that you know have that kind of stuff in there. So no, I haven't been in there. Milwaukee mugshots.
Man, that shit crazy. You see all these guys, these black faces, Poe brothers.
Well, we need to start looking at the charges. I don't know about you, Poe brother. Depending on what your Poe ass did. I'm gonna keep saying some of these dudes need to be in jail. Is it okay for me to say that as a black man? Some of you niggas need to be in jail.
Yep.
Some of y'all need to be in jail. Like, and they let some of y'all out, and I be thinking in my head, like, they shouldn't have let his ass out. Did they come with a verdict for Puffy today, or are they still deliberating? Because I didn't see anything to follow it up. I just want to know.
I hadn't heard nothing.
I can tell y'all the next scandal in this city will be the Milwaukee County Transit System facing a $10.9 million budget deficit, and the county comptroller has come in and said she want a full audit. And DC Crowley has come in, the county executive, and said he backs that because they said just months ago they had spoken to MCTS and they said everything was good. So here again, now the problem is the county has come out, because remember they said they had this deficit and it kept growing and it kept shrinking. We still at this point don't even know what their deficit was. We don't know what they did to fix it. They were going back tampering with the property tax levy, which everybody plays with in the city. That's another thing. When we start talking about gentrification, the property tax levy, the way they play with it, and if you're a homeowner in the city, they jack up your property values and they give you inaccurate assessments and all this kind of stuff. That goes to show you that gentrification is already happening. And I'm sorry, this just hit my head. This just no Diddy. This just came to mind. When we were talking, Kamar was talking about when gentrification comes, you keep your, buckle down and hold on to your property. Rest in peace to my homeboy, Chris Johnson. I know I say it a lot, but that's how big of an impact Chris Johnson had on me just via our conversations. Chris had a home that he bought, and he said he bought it it was condemned. It was in, city foreclosure. He had purchased his home. It's right off MLK, on the adjacent block to the east of MLK. And so he had purchased his house years ago, and he put his blood, sweat, and tears in it. He fixed it up. He doubled, tripled the value. And he had come to me and said, right now, if you walk around this neighborhood, there's a lot of white people moving in here because this is 2 blocks from downtown. And he was like, my property value has quadrupled since I bought this house. They've even come to him and offered him, made him offers for the house, Kamar. Like, oh, no, we'll give you, and he said, no, I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on it, Kev. I'm sitting on it. I'm going to keep sitting on it until they give me, I need 5 times what I paid for this house. And I want it in cash money, and it's paid for. And so he sat on it, and then he had other properties in the area. He turned them into Airbnbs. And he said, these white people, he told me, and it just made it so sad when he passed. The summer had just ended 2 years ago. He said, this is the most money I've ever made off real estate. I made $75,000 this summer with my Airbnbs. I think he had 3 or 4 of them. And he said, I finally figured out how to get to the money because they're gentrifying in this area. So there are people coming here from out of town that want to go to the stadium, want to go downtown to the lakefront, to Summerfest, to all these different places. And they can come and stay. My house is all A1. He said everything was 5-star. He was like, I made $75,000 over the summer. And then he passed away. So my point to all of that is, yeah, you can dig in. You can say, nah, you know what? I'm going to make my money work for me. You don't have to just be a slave. I don't think gentrification will mean we go back to the 50s where you walk around like, yes, sir, no, sir. I just think diversity will come. And you best believe when diversity comes to the north side, the money coming with it. It ain't going to be underdeveloped no more. We ain't going to be riding around with these deep-ass canyons in our streets. You ain't going to see beer bottles and trash everywhere. You ain't going to see beggars hanging out everywhere. Mysteriously, shit going to get cleaned up. And you can say, man, this community sure has changed. And the reason I say that is because so many cities around the country have done it. Detroit, Boston, New York. I don't know if LA is as affected by gentrification yet, but I know people from New York always talk about like, Brooklyn ain't what Brooklyn used to be. The Brooklyn that we thinking about with Biggie Smalls and all the rappers, that's gone. They latte shops now. They're like small art galleries. And that's Detroit.
Yeah,
the
they
same
did.
way.
They gentrified the shit out of Brooklyn.
So maybe gentrification ain't such a bad word.
I got a question. Do we think that like the leaders, they gonna clean the community up? Same people in the community that's destroying the community? Or do you think that it's gonna take for them to get those people out of the community and get productive people in that community?
I feel you on that because
You know
you're
what I'm
right.
saying?
What's the likelihood they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's chill, y'all.
Right. That ain't gonna happen.
Stupid.
That ain't
Let's
gonna
clean up
happen.
center. Let's clean up center, y'all. Like how, the people that's down there, like fuck all this shit. Like they don't care
Straight
anyway.
up. It's filthy.
You, and
they
I
don't
got
give a
something
fuck
to tell.
about it. It's filthy.
I got something to tell these white people too. When you put them out there on the outskirts where y'all at, they gonna tear that shit up too.
Tear that shit up.
You're gonna do everything but try to eliminate, or you can't eliminate poverty totally, but you can try and reduce. You can say, let's go in, let's try and reduce this. Let's make a conscious effort. Once again, if people don't take advantage, then you take your ass out there to wherever they're building this new housing complex at, and you live out there.
And do that shit out there.
Right.
Go do all that wild shit out there. I'm
and then
cool
white
with
people
man, listen, I'm really cool with that. Send the destructive people out there to do their destructive shit.
My only
let
issue
me and my kids live.
My only issue would be, and this is something that I've always been very proud of, we do have a cultural epicenter here for foundational Black Americans. We have a lot of significant neighborhoods where a lot of things happened that were great for us. A lot of progress was made. You can still come here and touch culture. There's some large cities where it's lost. You can't even touch it no more. And I would hope that that's why I said progressive gentrification, so that places that need to be preserved can be preserved. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black Holocaust Museum, where it's sitting at. I would hate to see that area get gentrified and that museum have to relocate. You know what I'm saying? Like what else do we got down there? Somebody help me out. Brownsville, whatever they doing with it. Let's never forget the sacrifices that was made by people who lived here long ago and they couldn't live nowhere else, so they made the best of it. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be progressive. It shouldn't be just where it's like, all right, all you niggas get out the city, white people taking back over. Now that's wrong. I feel like that ain't even gentrification. That's occupation. That's conquering. I feel like it should be a systematic thing where you say, okay, if we're gonna make this community work, it has to be. We see what happens when you get segregated communities. We see what happens, especially on the Black side, because we get neglected like a motherfucker and shut out this American dream. Dion, don't you want to walk them puppies down the street in the summer and stop and have you a smoothie at the health bar and sit and talk with your friends and meet people and whistle at white women? Don't you want to do that?
I don't really be too much bothered by people though. I don't know. Like that shit is around me, but it's not. I don't have fear when I go places now. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't about fear. Because I'm talking about comfort. It ain't about fear. It's about I just need you said yourself. There's people who have moved into your neighborhood since you purchased your home, and you know they're unsavory characters. So as a homeowner, you look around.
They ass gone now.
And you don't think they'll be replaced? You don't think they'll be replaced by some more? That whole area where you live at, I'm familiar with it because I used to coach over there, so I'm familiar with it. There was a lot of spots over there where you'd be like, damn, what the hell going on right here? Way out here? I didn't know this shit was like this.
Down there, like in the corner of 80th down there, because we got them apartment buildings.
Trouble.
You know what I'm saying?
Gonna be trouble. Anytime you got an apartment complex.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you, especially down there. But, I mean, I don't know. I can't really say. You know what I'm saying? I just know I go places and I don't feel unsafe. You know, like far as walking my dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fear of that is people that have their dogs don't have them on a leash. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I don't be.
So you don't want to live in a community where you feel safe. You don't want to live, and that, just because white people come is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the economic factor, because the more the people in your neighborhood make, the safer it's probably gonna be. That's just real. Like,
yeah, I can agree with that a little bit.
So, and it don't have to be. It doesn't have to just be white. See, I don't think gentrification is just white people, because I think progressive Asians, progressive Latinos, progressive Jamaicans, Dominicans, whatever they is, if they want to come and say, hey, I'm coming into this community, I'm buying in, I'm gonna purchase my home, I'm gonna keep it up, I'm gonna raise my family, I think that makes a real community. So we think gentrification is just all about white people coming and taking our houses, right? Like, I don't know if that's all it is. Right. I guess that's the vision of it that they've given us.
It's gonna be a lot of black people that come in buying property too.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people who working in the city or who got a business, you're right. They're gonna say, no, man, shit, it's cool over there now. This is where I want it to be anyways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to do some more research, y'all. By Wednesday, I will have more information on gentrification. I never thought I'd say I'm gonna do a show to talk about the benefits of it. It's just
No, but for real though, that's what we've been taught, the gentrification of white people, and that's the name that they gave it. But like you said, progressive blacks coming in, people that's well off. And I do, in a sense, agree with you on that, you know what I'm saying? But I just look at it like we better be careful what we wish for though, you know what I'm saying?
well,
Like I don't be too much in fear when I go places or and that's anywhere I
but
go.
just
You know
because
what
you
I'm saying?
don't, but just because you don't feel fear, don't mean it's not a dangerous place, Dion. Imagine some elders who live in your community that do feel fear. Like you talking just about you. I'm talking about the community as a whole. Here's the definition, y'all. Gentrification is the process where a low-income neighborhood experiences an influx of wealthier residents and businesses, leading to increased property values, rents, and a shift in the area's character. Okay. While it can bring about improvements like renovated buildings and new amenities, it often results in the displacement of existing lower-income residents who can no longer afford the rising cost of living. Okay. But so what else then? Somebody give me another solution then.
Hey, but again, we was talking about those. A lot of those are the same people that's causing the crime in said neighborhood.
Yeah.
And what we asked for is them to clean the neighborhood up.
So they're saying,
how can we ask for them to clean the neighborhood up, but then get mad at gentrification?
It says one of the problems with it is the influx of higher income residents leads to a change in the neighborhood's racial and socioeconomic makeup, often resulting in a decline in the proportion of low income and minority residents. Okay,
but that's why that's why they was placed together anyway.
Right, they were placed there because they was all the poorest.
Right.
So, they
should have got mad at that.
Ace Cooley, what it do, man? He said,
but the thing is, though, if you don't like it.
Said if you black and living in the area that's being gentrified, don't sell your damn house, or at least wait and get the full value of your property. That's Ace Cooley.
Huh? But the problem with that is they may not be able to afford the tax.
That's right.
Hell yeah, them taxes going up.
So this is why I say the objective is to get money. You got to get some money if you want to keep your house.
And it will be unfair.
We gotta quit worrying about what the people gonna do who gonna get pushed out and start worrying about what the fuck we gonna do to not get pushed out.
Interesting. I don't disagree. It's a complicated Kamar. That's why I just said, do I want to see my community whitewashed? No, right. Absolutely not.
And that's the emotional side of it.
But do I want to see it burn to the ground? No. If everything was fair, there would be an influx of investments and it would be an influx of rebuilding the infrastructure. But what's happening in our city is that that's not happening. The degradation is getting worse and worse. So at what point do you say, you know what, we got to hit the restart button? Now, once again, I'm not blaming all poor people, because I know if you poor, you didn't sign up for that. Situations and circumstances have a lot to, some people that's not what they want. And there's a small element in our community that is really throwing things off. But what do we do about them? Because we ain't been able to reduce it. We haven't been able to stop them. We haven't been able to change their mind. The only thing you really can do is remove it. Now, if we get inspired by this, Kamar, then black people go to getting their money up, then we can come back. We can come back and say, no, we finna come buy this shit back.
They said being poor is hard.
Well, no shit. So is being rich. You think being rich is easy? Why you think so many rich people kill themselves? Or their families be totally fucked? Look how many celebrities go fucking ape shit off the left wall. He had all that money. Why was he tripping? Howard Hughes is one of the richest men in the world. He died in a room with toenails 7 inches long, with his hair grew out on his face, with aluminum foil on his windows. Money don't fix everything. Sometimes the moral fabric of a community is what's, like I said, our cultural norm is dysfunction right now. We big up it. I'm sorry. We big up it. We like to hear a song. We some head busters. Ain't no love music no more. R&B singers just thugged out now. Make you wet the bed. Ugh. R&B singers got domestic violence cases. Well, Smokey Robinson too, and he's 85, but y'all get what I'm saying. There's a shift in our mentality. We got to get back to a more traditional way of thinking. The family structure has to come back. And I was going to say this earlier when we were talking about men and women. And we talked about the old school men, right? And I think Kamar said something about like how the men would stand on the women, and if he was being just overly over the top, just man, I'm about to set another fire. Is that what our women need? Do we need to do they need in some cases for the men to get back to saying, nah, fuck that. This is my house. I'm gonna take care of everything, but you gonna act right. I'm asking the question. I'm just looking for solutions. I know women like, hell no.
And what's crazy is that's what they say. It takes for them to do it.
You got to stand up and be a man.
You got to pay all my motherfucking bills for me to submit.
Be careful what you wish for. Better ask your grandmama.
Oh, shit, man. This shit crazy.
Like, no, baby, no, you don't want that.
Niggas don't know what they want. Argue about every motherfucking thing and complain about it.
Yeah, I always see women saying these men is softer, we harder than the men, and men nowadays is this, that, and the third, and this is what it's actually women who tell a man what he needs to do to be a real man. And I'm like, how do you know?
Right.
How do you know?
And then when they run into a man, hey, look, and when they run into a man that's like that, they say he toxic.
He do too much.
He controlling.
He trying to run me.
Uptown, downtown.
Ain't gonna be no girls' night out. Remember Martin did the thing about the girl going out for ladies' night, dude come up in the club with his robe on. That nigga coming up in the club with his robe on. Get your ass over here with me. A says, honestly, both parties have turned their backs on us. It's up to us to take care of our communities. If you black in America right now and you ain't figured out that neither one of these political parties is for us, I don't know what else to say to you. I'm not even arguing with you no more. I'm not debating with you anymore. If you still want to toe one of these party lines, man, good luck, buddy. Have fun.
Man, I'm done with the Democrats, man. I don't know. I'm kind of salty at them, though, because they went against my baby Jasmine Crockett. Talking about that she needs to step back and this, that, and the other. And she like, I don't know. I think the Democrats are self-sabotaging, though, to be honest with you. I think they're doing it deliberately.
Well, they also voted down your man trying to do the impeachment, which he didn't really have legal grounds, but damn.
Oh, Al Green.
Yeah, damn. 128 to 9 or something like that. It was like, whoa. That was a nigga sit your ass down moment. Now, somebody explain to me, because I've never been a follower of Candace Owens. I've always heard people criticize her because I guess she had these kind of pro-Republican conservative views. And I know she's made reference to black men in a negative fashion over the last few years. Once again, it's a situation where if Kev don't want to hear what you got to say, he's not going to click on you. So I've missed a lot of, once I know that that's what you on, I'm scrolling. And so I just seen now she's come back and said she's ashamed of Trump. She's ashamed that she encouraged black people to vote for him. She feels bad about it. And black people still kicking her back in. Like, shut your ass up, you son. I'm like, damn. What? And she said, I'm sorry. I feel bad. Y'all don't want it. We ain't accepting her apology. That's what you're saying, Dion. Okay.
You say
motherfuckers cold. What happened to being godly, man? Like, what happened to accept forgiveness? Like, you know what I mean?
That's how we always get.
Hey, look, hey, dig this, right? You always give a motherfucker a chance to come back, right? Okay. Somebody do something to you, you expect them to come back and apologize. You can't kick them when they come apologize to you. That don't mean you gotta fuck with them, but okay, they apologize. Now let's see if the apology was meant by the change in behavior.
So what has she done that's so bad that she can't be forgiven? Because she don't control no policy.
She ain't did nothing
She was talking bad about black people, man.
Okay, but she's running her mouth. So does Charleston White, but people love him. Okay.
This bitch was like, I can't even see who the white person is to compare it to. I just look at it like this. Well, you got people like her and other people that we ain't gonna speak upon. They are priors and need to be a prior. Damn, boy, I'm old coming up these steps. And they need to be cast out. Like, go over there and be what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But Because if you did it once, what makes you want to do it again?
But hold on,
You can't
once
be
again,
trusted.
Dion.
I talk about black men and black women.
You didn't answer the question though. What has she done? Now you said she talked bad about us.
I talk bad about black men and black women.
So you telling me if
she
you've ever
bad
said
about she made it seem like slavery wasn't a bad thing. Made it seem like if it weren't for white people coming over there helping us or whatever the fuck she said, that we would have still been over there. The same shit Charlie Kirkland be saying.
I'm not familiar with him, but no, I'm saying, so hold on. I'm just trying to get this straight. Because I don't listen to her. I'm not familiar with anything she does or says.
I don't listen to her, but I have heard.
So well, hold on. If you don't listen to her, Dion, then you can't say she's unforgivable.
Man, listen. When you say, like when Kanye West said that slavery was a choice, he's fucking unforgivable. You know
I said that for me personally, but the truth is that if he come and say, I'm sorry, hey y'all, I was tripping, I was bugging, I gotta take him at his, I say, all right, for me personally, I'm like, I ain't gonna buy no album, but I ain't gonna say, no, Kanye, you can't ever be forgiven. Every redemption is
you stay your ass over there.
I don't think anybody has the right. Nobody has the right to take it. No black person has the right to take another black person's blackness.
We make a mistake. Right. I felt like that. Like it's a lot of stuff she say that I feel against. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff Charleston White say that I'm against, but then there's stuff that they say that I can understand. I don't hate them as a person. You know what I mean? Now with Candace Owens, I heard her talking a lot of stuff about black men and black women. It's the same shit I be talking about black men and black women. The only difference is she supports Trump and I didn't.
She was supporting him,
yeah. That's the only difference. We was just talking about black women raising boys and how they raise them to be the men that they hate. That's the shit she talk about. She talk about how these girls be out here. She talk about how these girls be out here with fucked up attitudes and shit. Same shit we do. She talk about how the men be out here cheating and running around and untrustworthy. We do this shit too. Only difference.
I've never heard her.
I'm just saying. I have.
I heard snippets
so you listen to her?
I have. Yes, I have.
I've never listened.
What I'm saying is, only difference is she supported Trump, and I didn't.
Right. Okay.
But
same views. Right.
About, like if you listen to a lot of my videos, I get on niggas' ass the same motherfucking way.
You don't go on to talk about Trump.
Yeah, that's the only difference. I don't support Trump. I mean, you know what I mean? And so it's a lot of shit that she say that I don't agree with. I done seen her on some podcasts.
But you know what?
With men, right? With men who they call, like, a lot of people was calling chauvinists. I forgot the dude's name. I'll figure it out and let you know. But she'd be on these type of podcasts with different women that's like in the strip with the stripper culture. And she'd be on their ass about how they view men. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, it's some stuff that she say, because I have listened to her. You know what I mean? It's some stuff she talk about that I agree with. Now, you apologize to me, okay, I can hear you, but you know what I mean? That don't mean I gotta fuck with you either.
I stay on code.
So Ace Cooley, let me finish this chat room before we get out of here, Dion. Ace Cooley says, remember the financial conditions were designed to keep us down. Yeah, listen, there's been some systematic things that have been done to ensure.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm sure there are. Are you asking me? My parents were sharecroppers. What you talking about? I grew up listening about picking cotton in Mississippi. I grew up hearing about the nightmares of living in the Jim Crow South. I grew up, my mother showed me examples of what said, you got to move on though. This ain't your life, this was mine. You done ate good, you done live high off the hog. You need to move on. You can't be mad at nobody for what happened to me in 1947 Mississippi. So yeah, it ain't that I'm not aware of it. Hell, I bust my ass to get where I'm at. Wasn't nothing given to me. Shit, I done been up against white people in droves you can't even imagine. I done had physical fights with white mobs. So can't no nigga ever tell me, oh, Kevin, do you think? No, I know the real, but I also know that perseverance and being dedicated and being disciplined and working your ass off does yield some benefits. Are you going to be able to take over the world? Maybe not, but you'll be able to get something. Trying hard is better than not giving a fuck, is what I'm saying. I'm not blind to what the white man puts in our way. How could I be? Ace said, Dion, the Democrats are getting rid of the niggas and replacing us with Hispanics. The ones that's left. he said, Ace, he said, Candace been leaning on these Zionist ass Jews lately. Shabaka, how you doing? Shabaka done got his show back popping. I seen you, Shabaka. I didn't want, I hit the thing and it put me in a waiting queue. And I was like, I don't want to be on. I just want to listen. But I was checking y'all out. And then the signal dropped one night. He said, greetings from Sin City. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhances on StreamYard now. That's what's up, my brother. That's what's up. I was checking y'all out the other night. Sound like y'all was having a good time. He said, Candace Owens is a bed wench. You can quote me on it. Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even if she is, though. Even if she is. Can we go after a black woman for being married to a white man when we got plenty black men? Look at them NBA dudes. Look at these NFL dudes. Look at these actors. Wife is white as driven snow. We can't just ostracize the black. Well, you a bad wench. Fuck you. When you got brothers standing right next to you, like, yeah, man, it's Becky,
both
man.
Both of them, the black man and the white woman. Yeah, both of them. Shit, we ain't got to just do one.
I'm kind of over hating people because of who they married to. I'm kind of over that.
If you married to the oppressor, you're going to sympathize with her. You're going to be like, oh, white folks ain't bad.
There's a level of compromise, right? We know that. But that don't mean, look, so Dion, if this brother or this sister divorces this white person and comes back and says, hey, man, I made a mistake. I need me a sister by my side or I need me a brother. Hey, man, I'm sorry. We're going to say, hell no, get your ass out of here.
Yeah, man, we gotta lead them people where they be at, though.
So that means now. Hold on, you talk about this all the time. You sold crack in your own community, right? At one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You participated in genocide against your own people, right?
Who said that? Who said that?
If you sold dope, that's what crack was.
No, that's what they labeled it as.
That is what crack was. It was destructive to the black community.
Crack was definitely destructive to the community, man. What you talking about, Dion?
Oh, man.
I'm not going to feed off into that. That's what they labeled it as.
It's the truth. What was it? Was it positive? Why you stopped doing it? Why you stopped doing it?
I stopped doing it because it's illegal, and they gave me a lot of time.
So you didn't give a fuck about the people. You just cared that if it was legal, you still be doing it in the black community.
I probably would. Yeah, they sell alcohol every day. They sell drugs.
I ain't talking about alcohol. I'm not talking about alcohol, and I'm not talking about they. I'm talking about you, because you're saying what people shouldn't be forgiven for, and they lose their blackness. I'm saying you participated in genocide, which was the crack epidemic. And when you stopped and you went to prison and you served your time, you came back to the community and you was like, my bad, that was wrong of me. And you was accepted back. So what's the difference? We should say, oh no, Dion, you sold crack. Get your ass out of here.
Shit, if crack was legal, it'd be a lot of people out here selling crack.
See, once again, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. I
watch.
Dude, you be killing me with that.
I watch so many people's lives go down. So many people lose their lives because of crack. I watch families get broke up, torn the fuck apart, man, because one of the members, the father or something, was on crack. You know what I'm saying? Kids going without eating because of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was destructive to the community, man. Let's be real. And then, not only that, but since it was illegal, like a lot of us got locked up because of this shit, and families got broken up then because we chose to do this illegal activity.
But so, you can there's redemption.
It ain't no way that crack was good for the community. It put some money in our pocket for the moment, but us, that's it. We ain't got nothing to show for it now, so it definitely wasn't worth it.
But there's redemption for even the biggest crack dealer if he wants to come back and say, I'm not doing that anymore, Kamar.
Definitely.
Yeah, you say, all right, brother, we understand, man. You know,
redemption for everybody.
Yeah, so even Candace Owens or bed wenches, as y'all called them. Bed wenches. He said this is Shabak. He said Dump's new name is Air Force One, the jailbird. His new name for Air Force One is the jailbird. And Shabaka says strippers and prostitutes hate men. Do they? I know they after a while you can't help but look at them like commodities. Like, this is just where I get my money at. That's why a lot of them end up in lesbian relationships. Because all of a sudden they develop a disdain for men because of how men treat them because I'm here to pay, and that's it. Ace
Lord have
Cooley said,
mercy.
Kev asked them how they feel about Condoleezza Rice. Where is old Condoleezza at? Damn.
Minding her business.
Where's she at? I don't even hear from her big forehead self no more. Shabaka said, I see your point, Kev. However, there's no black power in white pussy. I don't know. What's good for me ain't good for the next
question.
man.
Okay, I got a question. Right, we was just talking about brothers with white women. Like, if you got, say for instance, a brother got a white wife. Now he may be a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. He got all kind of money to fund this movement, what we got going on. You know what I mean? He want to put some money to it because he still love black people where he come from or whatever, but he love his wife too. Now, do we accept his money or not, Dion? And we need this money for this movement.
Write the check.
Probably not.
Shit, write that check.
Man, come
Write
on,
that
man.
check.
You ain't for the movement,
That's how we be compromising ourselves.
I will say this.
Compromising?
I think it's very difficult. I think it's very dangerous and difficult.
That's emotional.
To put a black man who is married to a white woman in a position of leadership over black people. I think there's a difficulty with that. And I'm saying that simply because I know I'm saying this. I'm saying this is where, because we're talking about the movement. So the only reason I said that is because I feel like if you marry outside your race, right, there's a certain part of you that doesn't love your race as much as you should. I might be wrong.
But
I might be wrong.
Do that mean you can't donate to that movement?
No, you can definitely donate, but I don't think you should be in a position. I heard you.
Dion ain't gonna accept the money.
No, I said write the check. Shit, what you talking about?
Right there, cut that motherfucking check.
You and Becky, come on, bring that check over here.
All owe.
Shit. We got to be careful with what we sell in terms of who's leading us. And
we got to be careful with compromising ourselves too.
Well, we got to write that check. Money talking bullshit, run a marathon.
Definitely. But just because the brother donates some money don't mean that you got to give him some kind of motherfucking spot.
Look, yeah, because I know it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of successful black men who got white wives who will donate to black causes. He don't want to come be a part of it. He just gonna write a check.
He just gonna put some money to it.
He don't want to come up there and hear all them black women rolling their eyes in the crowd talking about, look at your white bitch. He like, just take a check, baby. Just write a check.
Because it's like so many other black people can benefit off of this check. And if our goal is to help black people, like, what the fuck is we doing?
Said crack committed great damage to South Central Los Angeles. This is Shabaka. Oh my goodness. You know firsthand. Ace Cooley said crack was a CIA experiment. Was it a CIA experiment or American faux pas from doing bad business in South America because of the supposed stopping the spread of communism?
It was both of them, though.
What
the United States was part of it.
In what way was it an experiment by the CIA in particular?
Because first of all, before it was crack, it was cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Cocaine was before crack. And then so somehow this scientist or whoever came up and said, well, let me add this chemical compound of Arm & Hammer baking soda.
You talking about Richard Pryor?
Cocaine.
You talking about Richard Pryor? You know,
it wasn't Richard Pryor.
Wait, hold on. You know they was freebasing cocaine long before they started calling it crack, right? They called it freebase at first.
I think freebase cocaine is different than crack, though. Now, I don't know.
Yeah, I think freebase got heroin in it or some shit.
Well, I thought it was just cooked up. See, I'm not a cocainologist. If somebody out there knows, I'm just saying, Dion, there was people smoking cocaine in rock form before it was called crack.
But I think freebase cocaine had a little bit more of a chemical element to it than actual crack. I think freebase had more chemicals than just the baking soda and water of the crack. That's why I think freebase was a little bit more expensive and crack was a little bit cheaper because anybody could buy a 99 or 39 cent box of baking soda back then and hey, put a little water to it, add the cocaine, and there you go, you got crack, you know? But why did crack infiltrate our community so hard? Why was it dropped off of other communities? It had to be dropped off of our community. And when that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be something behind the movement because it came through like a tsunami. It's almost like we said, hold on, I'm just using this as an analogy, but that's almost like we said over there in Wuhan, China, the goddamn COVID, when them people been had those markets for years and years, now all of a sudden there's this deadly virus that hit the world. You understand what I'm saying? So how could this crack
check this out
rush our community and like a tsunami? It had to be planted. You feel what I'm saying?
It was planted by the United States government, but I still don't understand how this was an experiment. Yeah, we know that the government allowed the cocaine from South America to come through the southern borders, particularly through Florida. But how was this an experiment? Because we had heroin before that. Was that an experiment too? Now, hold on. I did find this. This is the difference between crack and freebase, y'all. Crack cocaine is made by mixing powder cocaine with baking soda and water, then heating it, which separates the hydrochloride, resulting in a solid rock-like substance that makes a cracking sound when smoked. Freebase cocaine, traditionally freebase cocaine was created using ammonia and either ether to free the base from impurities. The process is largely replaced by using baking soda. Freebase cocaine is considered a pure form of cocaine. It's considered a pure form of cocaine because it virtually no additive hydrochloride is nearly 100% pure. Crack, while also a potent form of cocaine, crack contains impurities from the baking soda used in its preparation. So enough about crack 101. So there's some differences. But my point was, if you're going to say crack was an experiment, then so was freebasing. So was cocaine itself. So was marijuana. So was every drug that ever was made was a CIA experiment. People was doing drugs long before the CIA existed. Now, I agree with you on the conspiracy of how crack actually proliferated into our communities. I think the fact that cocaine had been out of a lot of people's reach, and once you figured out, hey, I can smoke cocaine, it's way cheaper. I think that's what made the popularity of it rise amongst poor people. This was the next greatest. Y'all remember at first, it was the next best thing. Like them cats who was partying and shit in the 70s, like, yeah, this the newest shit. They had no way of knowing what was about to happen.
They were snorting cocaine and shooting cocaine. But if you think about it, the crack epidemic in AIDS damn near hit the black community both at the same time in a whirlwind. Like, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? And then, so, yeah, it was a conspiracy, you know what I'm saying, with the CIA as far as COINTEL to drop it in our community and see. Because who thought of just getting high off this shit?
The same person who came up with freebasing. It's somebody who experimented and figured it out. Listen, you know when you say experiment, to me, there has to be, if you're going to do an experiment, there has to be a hypothesis. There has to be a theory. There has to be measurable outcomes. There has to be all this kind of information generated for you can come to a conclusion. That's what experiments do. So was the conclusion crack is bad?
It killed two birds with one stone. You had the cocaine. You had it destroying families and communities, as you guys say.
That's not an experiment, though. That's not an experiment.
Also, they criminalized it.
But that's not an experiment. That's a conspiracy.
They didn't know that crack was going to do this. So they experimented with the black community to see the type of effects that it would have in our community.
That's a conspiracy.
They didn't know that people would get addicted to it.
They didn't know people would get addicted to cocaine? Cocaine in itself is addictive.
Unless they smoke cocaine itself.
Cocaine itself is addictive. I like when people always try to say cocaine don't get you. I seen coke heads, powder heads. They got to have it. So why would you think crack wouldn't be addictive?
It was cocaine and Coca-Cola.
Very minute, small, and it wasn't processed. And we've even made the point that at one point you chewed the coca leaf. It was commonly chewed. So people cracked me up. It was cocaine and Coca-Cola. Yeah, it was at one point, right? We know that. But it wasn't crack in Coca-Cola. You didn't shake it up and there was little pieces of crack floating in the motherfucking bottle. Let me see. Listen. Listen. Because you got me on some other shit, Dion. Crack cocaine was not invented by a specific individual, but rather emerged in the early 1980s as a result of market forces. The oversupply of cocaine provider in the Bahamas and Miami led to a price drop. Drug dealers then converted the powder to a smokable form called crack to increase profitability and reach wider customer base, according to Wikipedia, which we know ain't always dependable. The name crack comes from the cracking sound. Okay, so basically it was dealers who came up with crack. I don't know. Let's look into it. Let's get some information together and print, and we'll present it on Wednesday night if we come on. I don't know. We on the edge of a holiday. When is the 4th of July? Friday or Thursday?
Man, the 4th is Friday, and I'm going to St. Louis Thursday, representing Murder Mill when I be down there. Of course, anywhere I go, I'm representing Murder Mill. You feel what I'm saying?
Shabaka said Condoleezza is probably bed wenching. Is she? I don't know. I ain't in her. I don't know who she sleep with. He said all money ain't good money, which is true. He said that goddamn Ronald Reagan allowed the crack devastation in South Central. Yeah, we know they sat by and let it happen. And Reagan was the biggest. Oh my God. Don't get me started about Reagan. He said that's bullshit, Kev. Some of us didn't understand what we were doing initially because we were in college, etc. I love motherfucking people, but unfortunately, I got kids by a snow bunny. He said, I love my people, but unfortunately, I got kids by a snow bunny. All I can do is steer them in the right direction. Best believe I knew then what I knew now. I would have never dated nothing white. Listen, first of all,
now that's love right there.
I can't. No, shout out to you, man. You got babies by, you got babies who by. But no, you said people didn't know what they was doing. Listen, anytime you are doing, you ain't supposed to be smoking shit. First of all, you ain't really even supposed to be smoking weed when you young.
You ain't. That's what I tell you all the time. I
said when you young. And if you experiment when you experiment with it and something happens to you, you can't say, I didn't know. You know you was doing wrong. So you know damn well, if you've been smoking weed all this time, you've been partying and drinking, and somebody say, hey man, try this. You ain't supposed to just jump on that shit. You reap what you sow. So if you was that naive to say, let me try, then that means we used to call that an all-star. You know what an all-star was back in the days? He drink or smoke whatever. He do anything. You know, heroin, pills, liquor, crack. You knew that was wrong. So sometimes you can't just blame. I didn't know. Stop it. You should have known. You shouldn't just jump for this is what being a leader is about. Shout out to the people who maybe somebody laced their shit and they got caught up that way. My point is there was a lot of intentional crack smokers. I knew crack addicts who was proud about this. Yeah, I get high every motherfucking day. I'm gonna get high right now. I knew crackheads like that. He said, look at a film called Imitation of Life. I've seen that film a million times, Shabaka. He said through Florida and California, the cocaine came. He said, damn, Kev, don't get caught up on the word experiment. The government is known for performing psyops on black people in general. They put crack in there to keep us from progressing. Don't get caught up on the word experiment. I have to go off the word you use. So if you say a word, I'm supposed to say, in my mind, I'm thinking that's not what you mean. If you say experiment to me, I'm going to say, wait, that's not an experiment. If you say something else, because they conspired to do psyops on black people. That's a conspiracy. That's not an experiment. That's something you do intentionally to bring harm. Now you can go in and look at the results of it and say, ooh, that shit worked pretty good. But initially it was a conspiracy. I don't know. And maybe it's semantics. I don't know everything. When he kept saying experiment, that meant somebody in the lab somewhere was like, look, I just invented crack. This is going to destroy black people. That's not how crack came about. That's not how it came about. How you know that, though? That's not how it came about. It's not how it came about.
How you know?
How you know it did?
Because look at the harm that it did.
No, that's not proof that it was made in the lab by somebody. That's not proof.
Instead of treating it,
if you want to be right, if you want to just be right, you could say that. But that's not fact. You don't have no facts to support that some dude made crack in a lab and distributed it to black people. You don't have no proof for that. Okay. He said the CIA originated in 1947. Listen, heroin, cocaine, there's always been drugs. We've had heroin epidemics forever. Was heroin an experiment too? And y'all do know that black people ain't the only ones who smoke crack, right? There were white people, there were white communities that was decimated by crack as well. Go to a trailer park in a poor white area. Them motherfuckers smoke. That was your favorite hype back in the day. If you had a white boy coming from Waukesha, dog, he come down here and bring his homies. I'm gonna make a G tonight. Them was white dudes. That's who you preferred serving. How many of us hit it to Eau Claire, Oconomowoc, Madison, Green Bay, all over the Northwest up there selling dope to white people? So if it was an experiment, it wasn't just for white people. It was for black people, it was for all people. So, words mean something. I really don't expect everybody to agree with me. It's fine if you don't. And you should have called into the show. Let me finish
You
the
know
chat.
what they call that?
Let me finish the chat room before we get out of here. He said it originated in 1947. Did I say when did I say it came about? He said the 4th of their lives. Happy 4th of July. I'm putting rib on grill. I don't know what y'all talking about. Huey Newton was killed behind crack. Yeah, because now see, this is once again, what I've heard is that the brother had become a drug dealer. Is that not true? That he had a drug habit himself. I studied Panthers. Now I've studied the lineage of the Panthers. I've even heard that they did experiments on him when he went to jail. And when he came home, he was never the same. So yeah, he was killed behind crack. From what I heard, he was trying to rob somebody. I don't know. I wasn't there. Rest in peace to Huey P. Newton. We should be back Wednesday. I don't know. Let me check. I don't know. I got to see what I got planned. Cause I done took a day off work. I thought it was the 4th. I thought the 4th was on Thursday. I'm gonna have to rescind my PTO request. Okay, so it's Friday. So we should be back Wednesday. But I will keep you all posted. Do you got something popping this week? I know it's the week of the 4th of July, which crept up on us so fast. You got something popping special this week?
Yeah, we got the parole expungements.
Okay, that's Saturday.
Expungements and pardon Saturday at the Sherman Phoenix at 12 o'clock with Doyle Spruer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We should be back. I'm planning on it. I don't know. It depends on how I feel. I sometimes I get an issue. It's oversaturated with podcasts, and sometimes I'm on the internet so much watching people and listening to people. I'd be like, I feel like our show should be exclusive and it should be a lot more specific instead of just all over the place sometimes. And then sometimes there's so much to talk about that you got to cover everything. I see a lot of messiness and a lot of lack of integrity. And I see people who don't want to hear nobody else's perspective but their own. And it's just lies and clickbait. And sometimes I'd be like, I don't even want to deal with it. So I don't even do it. I don't even do the show. And whenever I'm feeling like that, I just don't do it. Because I enjoy doing this so much, I'm not going to let something kind of sour it. George Terry Jr., appreciate the show, brothers. He said, hey, man, happy birthday, dog. I should have shouted you out at the top of the show. Happy birthday to the homie, man, up in Minnesota, man. Happy birthday. I'm going to hit you up when I get up out of here. Talk about your birthday a little bit. But, man, listen, I'll just keep y'all head on the swivel, man. That's all I ask. And try to be fair and try to be honest. One of the things that we don't do a lot is we're not honest a lot of times because we want to be as exonerated. We want to be freed from all the oppression and entrapment and all the kind of crazy stuff that we've been victims of. But then in the process for that, we make up a lot of excuses for shit we shouldn't be making up excuses for. You know, we should all be unified on the fact that this young man who shot these officers is a murderer and should go straight to prison. Now, if you want to talk about the conditions that the prisoners live in to make sure that rehabilitation is within their reach, we can have that conversation. But we shouldn't be happy because those cops were both black and one of them died. So that wasn't a revolutionary move. And I don't think this brother has a revolutionary bone in his body, Kamar. He didn't look like he was riding for no cause other than dysfunction and crazy insanity. And this is what we left with. So, and not only to those cops who died, family, to anybody in this community who's lost someone to violence, to senseless violence, been hit by a stolen car, and you minding your business, bullets shot up in your house. My prayers and condolences for you, man. It's mercy for everybody, not just a cop. I feel outraged every time I see one of us get struck down in our community. Not just when cops do, but when cops start to get struck down like this, you realize there's a certain amount of lawlessness here. There's some things going on that are going to spin out of control. Because like I said, in the environment we live in, somebody like Trump could justify this to impose martial law on us, to send the National Guard out. Say they lost what? 3 cops in a month been shot? Now I got to drive with tanks and soldiers on the street every day. My kids got to see this. Well, my son does. He's here. But our babies in the community have to see this. So it's bad. And we got to start calling a spade, man, and stop cheerleading for foolishness so much. I just feel like we got to get real. Is gentrification the answer? Do y'all research. We'll be back. If you find out something about it, I don't know, please tell me. But right now, it's looking like we're going to have to hit reset on this thing. Come on and start it all over, man. Y'all be cool. Be safe. Keep y'all head on the swivel. Peace and love. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the show. I'm out.
Peace.